Good evening and welcome to the September 18, 2025 City Commission meeting. I want to call the meeting to order, and we are going to start with the invocation and pledge of allegiance by our City Attorney, Jen.
Okay. Let us begin this meeting by taking a brief moment of silence and reflection. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to start out. We've got a couple of presentations, and the first one's a very special one for our newly retired chief, Jeff Parks Day proclamation. I will say, as you know, Murphy's Law happens, that some of our firefighters just got a call because we would have had a lot more firefighters here, unfortunately, but we've got some. So, and anyway, but we would have had more, but that's how it goes, right? That's the job, right, Chief? So, anyway, so we are going to, I'm going to turn it over to Vice Mayor for Jeff Parks Day proclamation.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. Chief, if you could come on down or up or wherever you're going to come.
I'll bring my new boss with me because
The original boss.
We got quite a few here, so
Morning, guys.
it's good.
Very nice. You know, I tried to make this Jeff's day so I could share, but no. Apparently, it's all about you today. Very good. And I don't know if very many people know this, but my grandfather started the Seminole Fire Department. And so just firefighting is kind of in the hearts of our family. So this is an exciting day for me, and I hope it is for you as well, Chief. But here we go. Chief Jeffrey Parks Day. Whereas Chief Jeffrey Parks began his career with the City of Dunedin on September 17th, 2007, as Deputy Fire Chief and was promoted to Fire Chief on January 10th, 2013. And whereas Chief Parks has faithfully served the City of Dunedin for 18 years and served for over 40 years in the Tampa Bay area as a firefighter. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to our fire and EMS system, which is vitally important to the quality of life in Dunedin. And whereas during which time numerous projects and programs were successfully completed under his guidance, including spearheading the efforts to secure Pinellas County funding for a rescue vehicle at Fire Station 60, replacing and rebuilding Fire Station 61, the construction of fire training and emergency operations center, and leading the change in pursuing and awarding of a federal grant that increased staffing by 21%, and enhancing innovative ideas such as the adoption of the alternative 4896 shift schedule, and all while demonstrating unwavering dedication, professionalism, and leadership that serves the lasting legacy in the City of Dunedin, its firefighters, and the community he so faithfully served. Whereas Chief Parks has been a constant advocate for the citizens of Dunedin and the personnel of Dunedin Fire Rescue, whereas these projects and advocacy will continue to have a lasting impact on the City of Dunedin. Whereas Chief Parks is looking forward to spending time with Lisa, his wife of 35 years, and their children and grandchildren. And whereas Chief Parks plans to spend his time in retirement traveling, watching weather chasers, discovering new hobbies, listening to the emergency channel, sitting in his driveway, driving the steering wheel like he's on his way to a call, and spending time with family and friends. And whereas on behalf of the entire City Commission, I want to express my sincere appreciation to Chief Parks for his loyalty to the City of Dunedin over the past 18 years and wish him much success as he begins his new chapter in life. Now therefore I, Jeff Gow, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Mayor of the City of Dunedin, and on behalf of this entire City Commission, do hereby designate September 18th, 2025 as Chief Parks Day in the City of Dunedin, and urge all citizens and employees to join me in congratulating Chief Parks for his meritorious service, loyalty, and dedication he's rendered to this community. So thank you, Chief.
Hope you'll say a few words, Chief.
I can be blamed for the fireboat, too. You can add that to the list. So, and I do have a red 4Runner at our house, so I could put a light on it, I'll be all set. So, but, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, thank you very much for this honor. I'm deeply honored by it. I didn't prepare anything in writing for it. I've been a joy coming to this department. I brought my wife up here because she suffered through 35 years of pagers going off, phone calls going out, leaving in the middle of the night. So she didn't always like that, but but we appreciate it. We made it this far, and the 42 years I've been in, it doesn't seem possible that at this point I was hiring people and they were retiring before I was. So I didn't understand what was going on with that theory. But so at this point, I got the goatee going on. I'm not supposed to have one, but I got on my vacation, so I guess I can do it when I'm on vacation, right? But so I keep telling my wife I'm going to let it grow and then put rubber bands in it, and I don't think that's going to happen too well, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, she might have to leave you in retirement then, yeah.
Yes. I might be looking for a job real quick. But, no, seriously, I can't express how much I appreciate the city and the commissioners and how much the commissioners support the fire department. Without you all, we couldn't be able to do what we're doing, and it just continues. Our services are continuing to grow. The number of people coming in, the calls, and we've seen so much in the past year with our past couple of years, starting with COVID, starting with our jobs. We can't hire people because no one wants to come to work anymore, and just the staffing shortages, and then of course our hurricanes that we all went through last year. It's not normal for our fire department to do all those things, but we came through. We managed to survive. So I'm proud of the men and women that we have working for us. They're top notch, and there's nothing else we can say about that. You're in good hands. So thank you very much.
And firefighters are starting to pour in more, so I guess they took care of the call. Chief, stay right there. I've got a plaque to give you, and then I'll give an opportunity for the commission to make a comment or two. I'm just going to read this for you. Presented to Chief Jeffrey S. Parks. What's the S for? Scott. Okay, there we go. I'm glad it was something, pretty reasonable. In grateful recognition of 18 years of distinguished service and for your unwavering dedication to protecting lives, property, and the well-being of the residents of the city of Dunedin, your leadership and commitment have left an enduring impact on our community. With gratitude, the city of Dunedin. And then if any of the commission wants to, maybe starting with Vice Mayor, any final comment?
Oh, was that back to me? Sorry. Mayor, I was taking pictures. Chief, thank you for your service. It's always wonderful whenever the residents take their surveys, and you can almost see the struggle when you read the results of those surveys when it comes to safety. Do you like the response time? And they're always here, so yeah. And so it's just so wonderful that our residents feel so completely safe in our community. And so much of that is because of you and the firefighters. So just thank you for your dedication to the city of Dunedin and the residents that live here. Thank you, sir.
Actually, no Phyllis, right? She's not here.
No, Phyllis, no.
As long as the survey, we come up above the library, we're happy.
And it usually did.
Hey, let me get her on speakerphone, see?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandberg?
We had a less than a year to get to work with you, but I've been impressed in your professionalism and your dedication since the first day I met you. I think the department's in good hands when you leave, but you left your mark on it. And on behalf of myself and the city of Dunedin, thank you so much for what you've done.
Thank you.
Commissioner Walker.
Yeah, so Chief, I remember the day that you took me around and took me to all the stations, and it was quite an eye-opening experience. And I will say that you have led remarkably through some pretty challenging times in the last 3 years. And you know, to include coming out of COVID, to include the hurricanes, to include the some of the budgetary, or well, actually more of the hiring and recruiting things that you had to do. And then, but I think the hallmark of a great leader really pertains to the fact that you have developed an incredible team here. I've got to know a lot of the members of Dunedin Fire and Rescue personally, and I will tell you, you could not be leaving a better team in Dunedin, and that you are responsible for that. And so I just want to thank you personally, wishing you the very best, and you know, it was great serving with you, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner DeGarden.
Thank you, Mayor. I have slept well every night I live in Dunedin because I know guys like you are there for me. And you lead a wonderful team. There's an expression that goes something along the lines of a good leader knows how to hold the flower lightly. It's an expression that says you can't hold it too tightly because if you do, it'll kill the flower. Too loosely, the flower falls to the ground. You've epitomized that expression. You know how to hold the flower lightly. Thanks for all you've done.
Thank you.
Jennifer, before I get the last word, do you want to go?
Yes, absolutely, of course. I was sharing with a group that I spoke to earlier this week that I remember I started 9 days, 10 days before Hurricane Irma. And the EOC was in the Public Services Building off County Road 1 at that little tiny EOC. And Emergency Operations Center. I remember all I needed to know was who is the incident commander. And what a lot of people don't know is that when we're in a state of emergency, the fire chief is the incident commander. And the number of storms, you're talking about the impact on Lisa and your son and your family through all your years of service, they were always alone, right, during storms, and your families as well. So, you know, Jeff's steady hand through the most dire times, actually, in the city. You know, he's very stoic, and this is the best sense of humor I've heard of since. Like you know, I'd like to see that, by the way. But anyway, so you know, Jeff is not a showy guy. This is probably way too much for him.
I wasn't the Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it wasn't the Mardi Gras Vince Gizzy who. Vince and Susie Gizzy are here because he wanted to support Jeff as he retires as well, our most recently retired director. So, you know, not a showy guy, so, but we all felt that it was fair that you have a proclamation and a day here, given all your good work. And I know that when Jeff came to me and handed me his notice, we went through it a little bit and thanked him for his service and talked a little bit about his plans. And then my next question was, who's going to sing the Star Spangled Banner at our events? Some of you may know his wife, Lisa, sings the Star Spangled Banner at a lot of events. Beautiful voice. But you've left a succession plan in place and a smooth transition, which for me is essential to this time of year, especially. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for your service. I've enjoyed working with you for these past 8 years. And I wish you and Lisa the best of luck with your son and your 2 beautiful granddaughters. And you'll keep in touch because we might need you. The storms, we need all hands on deck.
Yes.
Great. Well, I was going to ask you, Lisa, are you still going to be singing at the National? Okay, there you go. Okay, we can't lose that. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Jory's saying yes.
And then I think
Yeah.
she'll be happy to get out of the house, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think Lisa's strong enough to kick him out when he's driving her crazy, you know? Anyway, no, I mean, you've done a great job with the department. I think the comments about the session plan and the team that you've built and the challenges you've had are right on. And you know, it's actually great that we went, because whoever had a call, we're pretty much got everybody here, and that's awesome. That's a tribute to you. You know, not a secret that I had 3 major touches with your department this year. One broken wrist, where you guys did give me a little bit of extra help and painkiller. And of course, Hurricane Helene. We're on top of the hurricane. I had a fire that started when they had turned the electric back on, and you know, the house was full of smoke, and the department came. And then, of course, the death of my mother at Meese Life, and the department came. And the team you've built, the career you chose, the legacy you leave are just very important, and I'm just so pleased, proud, and honored that you chose Dunedin for your career for the last 18 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all.
I think we got to get a picture. If everybody can come up, we're going to try to get a picture with all the guys and everybody, and girls.
Chief? Do you have your plaque?
Sure.
We could take the plastic off, probably.
Yeah, sorry, I guess I was supposed to do that.
We surprised you.
Brooke directs us from here.
Okay.
Can we all do what Brooke says?
Okay, you want one by himself and then? Okay, one by himself, then you guys all. Got it. Okay, let's come on in, guys. Come on. Everybody. You got this. Look, nobody wants to be in the front, come on. Scrunch in, though. Okay, Brooke, you got to manage this group, so. You got to manage this group now, so.
Try to see how. Yeah, 2 rows.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that new chief giving orders.
Bossing everybody around.
I wonder if there should be a picture of just the 2 chiefs shaking hands.
Well, that's a great idea.
Tradition passing
I like that.
this.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Got it. Took a couple.
Hey, Brooke, could we get the former chief and the new chief? I think that's, Vice Mayor, a great idea. You two together, maybe shaking hands.
Something.
Yeah, well, you
I
don't
don't know. I got bills.
You can hug if you want. No.
We should walk. I'll leave it over. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks again, Chief. Thanks, Lisa. We'll see you for the anthems. And thanks, everybody, for coming to support the chief, former chief. Okay. We are going to go to the next presentation. I'm just going to talk slowly as all the firefighters leave the room.
Thanks for coming, Vince.
Yeah, thank you, Vince, for coming, and Susie. It's awesome. Take care. Okay, I think we have Find the Good Day proclamation, and I think we also have Melina Allison, President, with Mary Ellen Schaefer joining with Junior League of Clearwater Dunedin, and I'm turning it over to Commissioner Sandbergen.
Wow, come on down. You know, that might be a tough act to follow, but there's no way.
Good thing it's not a competition.
I'm going to lift you up. Yeah.
It's not a competition. It's good.
You know, but, you know, what an honor to be able to recognize the Junior League tonight. You know, the lives you touch, the improvements to our community, you know, the diversity of your organization. And, you know, as a commission, I think I speak for everybody that we look for community partners, and I can't imagine a better partnership after studying your organization and what you do and who you do it for. And I have to say, I'm glad that you are a partner of ours. So I'd like to take a minute to read a proclamation. Whereas the Junior League is dedicated to advancing women's leadership for meaningful community impact through volunteer action, collaboration, and training, and Find the Good Day, observed annually on the third Tuesday of September, encourages individuals to recognize and celebrate their positive aspects of their communities and to take intentional action to uplift others through acts of kindness, service. And whereas this day calls upon us to embrace compassion, celebrate community spirit, and inspire meaningful engagement to build a more connected, resilient, and hopeful society. And whereas the Junior League continues to lead impactful initiatives that strengthen Dunedin and the greater North Pinellas community and empowering individuals to make a lasting impact. Now I therefore, Stephen Sandbergen, Dunedin City Commissioner, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by Mayor Freeney in the City of Dunedin, and on behalf of this entire commission, do hereby proclaim this third Thursday of September as Find the Good Day in the City of Dunedin, and encourage all citizens to take part in the acts of kindness, volunteerism, community service to help strengthen the fabric of our city. Thank you to all of you. And I would like to present that proclamation that I just read. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Junior League, I just want to say thank you so much, commissioners, mayor, vice mayor, and all the other commissioners as well. We know that together we can find the good, do the good, and be the good in this community. Junior League has been very proud of our service over the last 75 years in the Clearwater and North Pinellas area, and are very excited to continue to work with the city and work more for you guys. So thank you so much. And if you happen to get done early, we've got a celebration downtown celebrating Find the Good at the Chamber tonight.
Oh, awesome. Great. Great. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Oh, wait, picture, sorry. Thank you, Commissioner. Got to get the picture.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so I need a little bit of a drum roll. Seriously, drum roll, drum roll. Special announcement, late breaking, just brand new. Skinner Boulevard is officially open for business. East and west, north and south, so pretty exciting. And wait, how much ahead of schedule is that? Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
What is it?
5?
5 months.
5 months ahead of schedule. As a matter of fact, your manager's update, Jennifer, is way off. So, yeah, so you better pay more attention to those details.
I will correct that for sure.
Anyway, yeah, too bad her evaluations tonight. Yeah, there we go.
I'll send out a
I
supplement.
think it was going to go okay till that, but you know. Okay, so citizen input. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda? Come forward and name and address for the record, and 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Laura Wesley. I'm at 1161 Palm Boulevard, and I'm here to talk about...
I got to tell you, the T-shirt's awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
The Real Housewives of Dunedin, so, okay. There we go. Always those groups. But anyway, I'm sorry.
And I drove on Skinner this morning. I don't know if I was supposed to. But now that the crew is done early, perhaps they can address this if they're bored. I'm talking about storm drainage in front of my house, and I'd like to read an email that I sent to everybody except for Michelle Wells and Jennifer, is it Cowan? Yeah, I didn't send it to you, but I sent it to Jennifer Bramley, Jorge Quintas, Suzanne Bartlett, Mo, Jeff Gow, Robert Walker, Tom Dugard, and Steve Sandbergen. And I sent it on July 21st of this year. Dear beloved city officials, I'm writing as my last attempt to garner a solution for a 9-year-long back and forth with the city that has yet to be resolved. Finally, last Wednesday, I slipped and fell in the sludge that accumulates at the end of my driveway every summer season. I called DPW immediately, and while Tanya said she emailed a bunch of people to inform them of my fall, no one contacted me in response. I need a storm drain installed at the end of my property. I've paid out of pocket for leak detection for my sprinklers, pool, and home, as has my next door neighbor, where this is also an issue. I have no leaks. I have had multiple French drain installations as well. There's a crevice that forms at the end of my driveway, and the additional asphalt that was added a few years back has only made it worse. Trevor Bacon had no solutions. Sue Bartlett has yet to contact me back. I'm raising this to the city executive level. I don't want to pursue litigation, but I'm afraid that's the only path that will yield a solution I need so I don't fall taking a piece of trash out. I also have to do gymnastics in order to get to my mailbox. Here are photographs and a video, including my soiled bottom. Yes, I did include a picture of my backside, from falling in the sludge. It's a serious physical hazard and an environmental one too. It's bubbling and flies and tadpoles are living in it. In order to take my dogs on a walk, I have to use my neighbor's yard to access a safe spot for them to walk in the street. Please respond with your plan of action so I don't need to contact an attorney. I'm a big advocate of this wonderful city, and I even talk about the campaigning that I've done for some of you. Thank you. And I received absolutely no response back. Several weeks later, Martin Wade came out to look at something. I was on a work call. My partner talked to him, but then there was no follow-up. I then used this email and emailed Martin on August 8th and didn't get a response from him, and I called several times, and finally he came to my house about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and also my neighbor, he slipped, but he did not fall, and he's in his 70s. So that's a much more dire situation for him.
Thank you, and I'm sorry you've had that frustrating experience, and I don't know if the manager knows anything about this specifically, or if you want to just...
I don't recall it. Your point is taken. I'll get with staff, and we'll reach out to you tomorrow.
Okay, do you want me to resend the email to everybody so it's on the front of your inbox?
Probably a good idea.
Okay, all right.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. And I do like the T-shirt. So. Okay, anyone else wish to come forward and speak on issues on the agenda? Name and address in 3 minutes. How you doing?
Hi, Mayor Feener.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Jim Calgar. I live at 2092 Valley Drive, Dunedin. And speaking of stormwater, how about the Briar Creek situation? I'm still losing soil. The gabions are it's like rolling hills. There's holes out there. I stepped in one this morning. And there's standing water. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Yesterday, I brought in 2 truckloads of soil, pickup trucks, mine to be exact, which is 1 ton of dirt. I can get a yard of dirt in my truck. And I've put that around the back of my house. And I still have to fix the crack in the window or in the wall. And I'm not quite sure how to do it. I can't afford to get a contractor to do it because after paying to have the house stabilized, I can't afford it. I know that my claim is in mediation right now, and I have contacted my attorney and showed him all the documentation, pictures of the creek and everything. And the city hasn't reached out to me since the last time. So I'm just wondering where we're at with the situation. If anything, can we get a Band-Aid? Put a pipe in it, bury it until we can do it right. Because if my house falls down, the city's going to pay for it. Now, let me ask you one question. If this was your house, any one of you, how long would it take to get fixed? That's the question. How long would it take to get fixed if it was one of your homes? I'm just as important as you are. These people are just as important as you are. Let's take care of the residents of Dunedin. Spending $100,000 to renovate a skate park, that's one thing. The golf course, okay? The golf course is making money. Why can't they use that money to renovate their situation? I've come out of pocket for my house. My insurance isn't going to cover it because they don't cover earth movement. Doesn't matter if you have sinkhole coverage, they're still not going to cover it. I need help, and I need it from the city of Dunedin. So I'm asking you, please, let's do something about this, because this can't continue. It's continued for years and years and years. My neighbors are having problems as well. Let's consider the residents of Dunedin. Let's make this city worth something, okay? I'm asking that, please. Thank you.
Jim. Thank you, Jim. Does anyone else in the audience wish to come forward and speak on an issue that's not on the agenda? Name and address, and 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Carolyn James. I have a cold. I'm getting over a cold. My address is 2470 Bayshore Boulevard, Dunedin. Also 2476 Bayshore Boulevard, 2245 Cedar Drive, 310 Causeway Boulevard. I am requesting that my boat is moved back to the proper size slip for my boat. I was misled by this group the last meeting and told that I had to move because the ferry may be in the way. This is not the case. The ferry dock is there. It is not in the way. Then it was discovered that I am not what the city of Dunedin wants the tourists to see. You don't really have much better than me because the fancy boats don't want that spot because it's a rocking spot. My boat's a tank. The residents should have first choice of these spots, not the ferry, not anybody else. And both spots, slip 1 and 2, that fit my boat, are sitting vacant, collecting no rent. That's the first thing. Second thing is if I'm going to complain about my government, I might as well get the rules for running for mayor because I'm looking to do that if I'm going to have to get involved. The third thing is, before you underestimate a person that you judge to be beneath you, you should really consider what you're starting because it's a bad idea. Residents should come first, not last. Like this guy and this lady both just said. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Okay, for Jim, did you want to add any comment about that or any update? Because I know that you guys have been out there.
Yeah, staff was out on site, and Sue, do you want to, Michelle, you want to come and talk a little bit about what you saw when you were out on site? I think you were out on the 27th of July.
Yes, yes.
Sue Bartlett, Public Works Director. Yes, we did go out to site. Actually, engineering has also been out to that site, as well as our maintenance staff. We have done some repairs to one side of the channel there where it's across from this property. But we have evaluated that whole Gabion system throughout. And there are areas, as you all know, you've heard from citizens here, that where the Gabions have actually failed. And engineering is actively looking and pursuing those repairs. We have a prioritized list of the Gabion sites, and it's prioritized based on an evaluation by engineering group that puts in order which ones we should work on first. As we explained and tried to explain, we only have a certain amount of money, and so we will continue to go methodically through to make repairs. In this particular area, the Gabions are intact, and we also did refer Mr., what was it,
Gallagher.
Thank you very much, sorry, to RISC, and they are evaluating his claim. And so, again, we will continue to keep an eye on it. We'll continue to maintain that area. You mentioned standing water. It's a creek. It's going to have water in it. Definitely. We did find some overland water coming across the lot and his lot and another lot from overland, but not from within the Gabions or behind the Gabions.
So is the water flowing freely there? Because I know when I saw it, like it had a lot of stuff going on in there,
Yeah, the
regardless of the intactness of the gabions, so.
Yeah, the water is flowing freely there. It is actually, we had that little area cleaned out. Part of the maintenance work that was done on the opposite side was in fact to clean that out, and they accessed it from that side, and so they had to restore the sod. So yes, it is flowing there. And it also is right there where it turns. There's a turn.
Okay. All right, well, no, thank you for that update. We're not going to really do the,
I just want to make one statement, very brief. The two gabions that were damaged when the creek was cleared
you
out,
should come up to the mic real quickly, though. But just, I'm just taking a couple sentences here.
there were two gabions, one on the opposite side and one in the center of the creek, that were damaged when the creek was cleaned out. The stones are falling out. The one that is in the bottom of the ditch is gathering debris, causing a dam. So yes, in a way, the water is flowing freely, but not freely enough, okay? And the gabions are bulging, which is probably to be expected because of the weight. But still, something needs to be done because I'm still losing soil. That's the problem. I'm losing soil, and I'm not trucking it in to replace it.
All right. No, thank you, Jim. We'll continue to do the best that we can, but
And I
appreciate
thank
it.
you. I thank you
Okay.
very much for the
Thank you.
consideration.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies.
And thank you all. I know you'll continue to do the best you can in this situation, so. Okay, all right, we're going to move on. Okay, I don't think, no one else wants to come forward, right? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, we're going to go to consent agenda. So first, we have approval of the minutes for 7/18/2025 budget workshop. We have 2B, which is fiscal year 26 special event road closures, October 2025 through July 2026. 2C, request commission approval to purchase support and licensing of the DigiPlan document markup and approval software program that integrates with the EPL online permitting system from vendor Tyler Technologies, Inc. at a total cost of $72,000. That includes $32,000 for installation/training and $39,400 for the software licensing and support. 2D, approval of an emergency purchase for the Dunedin Fire Department of a 2011 E1 surplus fire pumping engine from the Palm Harbor Fire District for $150,000 and accessories estimated at $30,000 for a total not to exceed amount of $180,000. 2E, request commission approval for the purchase of fiscal year 26 laptops and computer equipment from vendor Dell, Inc. under the city's cyclical replacement program in the amount of $117,480. 2F is request commission approval for the purchase of a 3-year annual support contract renewal of the ESRI GIS mapping software in the amount of $126,600 to be paid annually at $42,200 per year. And finally, 2G, Clearwater Ferry Service, interlocal agreement and operational agreement between the City of Dunedin and PSTA for ferry services, beginning October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. And we have the head of PSTA right here, so thank you for being here, both of you, for an amount not to exceed $85,000. So is there any item that anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda?
2F.
2F. Okay, anything else?
I would like to pull 2G for purposes of recognizing our PSTA partners in this.
Great, okay. And anything else?
2D.
2D.
2B, just questions.
Wow.
We're pulling everything.
Okay, we've just, okay, we're breaking all the rules
We just
tonight, yeah, okay.
Extended the meeting by 2 hours.
Okay, there we go. Well, there you go, Jorge. You're going to have to do better. Okay, all right, so with the absence of 2B, 2D, 2F, 2G, can I have a motion? Well, hold on. Motion for approval of the consent agenda. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Dugard. And Commissioner Walker was the seconder. Okay, is there any public input? Anyone in the audience that wishes to come forward and speak on any other consent agendas? Consent item agendas? I'm not saying that right, but we'll keep going. Seeing no one, I'm going to close the public comment on the consent items, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we'll start with 2B, which is the fiscal year 26 special event road closure, October 2025 through July 2026. And would you want a full presentation or just have some questions?
No, just three simple questions.
Great.
We ready?
Yep, go ahead.
I know in the past I've had a tag on my front door. How are we notifying the public about the closures of, especially Douglas and the Main? Are you going door to door, or how are we doing it?
Jory Peterson, Special Event Coordinator. We are for the parades that we have along Douglas.
Microphone?
Sorry about that. For the parades that we have along Douglas, we notify residents. For the downtown street closures, we go to the specific businesses and along the road closure that it's impacting. And then we also have the city website where we post road closures as well.
Okay. When I was looking at the schedule, I think you and I both know coming down the pipe fast is the Jays' 50th anniversary. Is that something that's on the radar? Are we, as a liaison to the Blue Jays, I want to make sure I'm involved and help you any way that I can. Any plans, any thoughts of going forward with that?
I have reached out to Matt, and
Okay.
we're still pending the final date on their big celebration for Welcome Back Blue Jays. I have not heard yet.
Okay. And the last, I know, it's probably been a couple of years ago, you and I talked about, when those barricades go up, they're up. And that's extra portable toilets on the side street, specifically like Scotland, James, in that area. It seems like once the people are locked in, I hate to see them going to the merchants to use their restrooms, and there's not a lot of public restrooms downtown other than by the boxcar. What are your thoughts about providing some more facilities for the public?
Commissioner, is there a specific for all road closures?
I'm thinking
or
mainly when the road, Douglas mainly, is blocked. If you're on the east side, you can't get to the west side, and it just seems like it puts a lot of pressure on the merchants and the people coming in using their restrooms.
Okay.
How about, is there any way we could provide a little more portable toilets along the route?
We can definitely, looked like you were going to comment. Oh. We can definitely look at the challenging part of that is to make sure that portable restrooms are not outside a business door
Yeah.
or close to proximity. So we can look at various locations on the east side of Douglas as well.
Yeah, because I've seen, especially a parent that has little kids. I actually, a couple of years ago, his mother asked my neighbor, and my neighbor let her take the little guy in there, and I thought, it's really going out of their way to be a good neighbor for a complete stranger coming in their house. Any idea what does it cost to rent a portable toilet? Is he running by the day, or what kind of money are we talking about?
So one individual standard porta potty is about $85, and then an ADA is about $125.
Okay.
Plus
And I
delivery.
have no idea how many I'm talking about. I just picture that, those people that are stranded when those barricades go up, so.
So
that's just
more
my
or
thoughts.
less, it's your concern is during the parades when Douglas is closed. So basically, we deliver porta potties at the staging area for the parade, and
Right.
then we have them downtown, and then we have some at the end of the parade. We would have to look at throughout Douglas if we're able to.
Okay, as long, I didn't realize, that was a good answer. And it maybe just communication to, a lot of these people are new in town, they're visiting, and when the kids got to go, it's, they didn't have, they didn't plan for it, now we got to hurry. And I'm just thinking to make it a little easier for the people that come to visit us, that's all.
And we can also make it more noticeable, and with our downtown, like our closures, our maps that we have, we can add more description.
We're working on updating all of the event maps, not only for closures, but we can definitely do, like, at least for Old Fashioned Christmas, because I think that this is probably more so what you're talking about, because there's a lot of families, but locations on a map that we have not only for our activities, but where those portalets are located, because we do strategically place them on both sides of the parade in the more congested area off of Main Street, obviously out of the way of businesses and
Right.
storefronts, but we could signify where those are so people can have a straight shot and know where they're heading and they're not wandering around.
No, I got it. That's a great idea. You made that so much more simple than what I've been thinking about, so thanks to both of you. That's all I had. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions, Vice Mayor?
No questions.
Commissioner Walker?
No questions.
Commissioner DeGard?
No questions, thank you.
So I'll just make a quick comment. I'm really glad Cinco de Mayo is on Cinco de Mayo. I'm still not thrilled that St. Patrick's Day is not on St. Patrick's Day. It doesn't totally make common sense to me. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Just get it off my chest. Okay, let's see. Any public comment on this issue? If there is, come forward now. Seeing no one coming forward, I'll close public comment, and I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any final comments from anybody? Okay, so a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay.
Thank you again.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. You're hard workers. We value you. Okay, 2D was approval of an emergency purchase for Dunedin Fire Department, and that was pulled. Who pulled that one?
I pulled out.
Okay, so Vice Mayor, do you want a presentation, or do you?
No, I just have a few questions.
Okay, all right, great.
Scott's got a tie on, I just want to make note.
Yeah, very impressive,
I know.
very impressive.
I think we should get a picture.
Whoa, we need a picture later.
Very nice.
I'll take one now.
All right. goodness. All right, thank you.
All energized from the Citizens Academy.
Look at that. Fired up.
I like it, I like it.
Picture day. Yeah, just I have a few quick questions. One, in a pretty tight budget year, and just on the face of it, the 150 plus the 30, 180,000 hurts a little bit. So can you compare that to me? Because I understand the concept of emergency, we need one. So what's the comparison on that? What would new be? What's that differential?
Go ahead, Scott.
Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson is on. Scott Caterson, Fleet Manager. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. A new fire truck similar to that is going to run just south of $900,000.
Without apparatus, without all the gears, without everything.
Yeah, you would have to then stripe it, add the radios and stuff like that. So about $900,000.
Okay, and what's the typical life cycle of new versus this one?
Typically, I would say Dunedin holds on to their engines a little bit longer than typical, which would be about 8 years.
And how long do we anticipate having this one?
Good question.
Well,
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
So this is going to be a reserve engine. We need the reserve capacity. So as some of the frontline engines that we currently have are going to be moved into reserve, we'll be able to surplus this, hoping in about 3 to 4 years.
Okay, all right. And you guys have heard my passion for smaller Japanese-style fire trucks that are cheaper and better for the community. And I've also heard that you have some experience on that, but I won't talk about that tonight. I just wanted to acknowledge that I know there's somebody that I can bend their ear on, so I apologize in advance for bending your ear. But actually, those are all the questions. I wanted to make sure that this was not, in cases of emergency, times you grab what you can grab, but this does sound like it's a good purchase as well.
If I may, Sue Bartlett, Public Works Director, we're not exactly sure how long we're going to keep it, but we do have a plan that you have approved in the capital outlay, a plan for all of the vehicles, including these apparatus. and have stretched them out. We did have a fleet evaluate the mechanical condition of the fire truck, and it actually is better than both the reserves that we had. One is completely inoperable, but if it was, it's still in a better shape. So as far as our backup reserve, it's actually a very good deal, if you will. It's a very, for the amount of expense, we're getting a very good backup. But we will phase out all the reserves as we buy new. Those in-service vehicles roll over to be reserves. And then these items get surplused, and they will be surplused.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, any other questions, Commissioner Sandberg?
We're going to come back to comments, because I had a comment.
I can, yeah, I'll come back for
that's-
comments too.
I'll wait.
Okay. Commissioner Walker?
Just off the cuff, I mean, mean time between failure for those pumps, is it, you say you get about, I mean, how often do you have to do maintenance on them?
I'm sorry, on the pumps?
Yeah, yeah.
So Dunedin does have a very robust preventative maintenance program. They're brought in, Scott, is it every 2 months, every other month for full PM, every 6 weeks?
What?
How often are they maintained?
Yeah,
Each?
they're brought in on a cycle about 6 weeks for the apparatus.
Okay, so that's standard documented service or maintenance that's
Yes.
done?
Mhm.
Okay. Ah, that's all. No further questions.
Everybody's covered what I would ask. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so can I have I don't have any questions, so can I get a motion?
Steve, have one comments? Comments?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to get a motion first, and then we'll come back to that. So if I could get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let me get public comment. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on this issue? Come forward now. Seeing no one, I will close public input. I will go to final comments, and I will start with the maker of the motion, Vice Mayor.
No comments.
Okay, and seconder of the motion, Commissioner Walker.
The gentleman for seat 2 provides his minutes to Commissioner Sandberg.
Commissioner Sandbergen.
No, I was reading about I would hate to be on the wrong end of messing up that ISO PC2, and I noticed you spelled that out in that presentation. Do we have to update our equipment schedule to ISO, or how does that work?
So ISO comes out and they do, they call it a survey, and they come out and they evaluate all the different things with the fire department, they evaluate emergency communications in the water department. We had our last one about 4.5 years ago. I would venture to guess it's going to be sooner than later.
Okay, like I said, I'd hate to be on the wrong side of, we'd have some upset taxpayers if homeowners insurance tripled overnight, so thank you, Mike. That's all, Mayor.
Yeah, no, good point. Any final comment? Okay, Commissioner Walker?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, when you look at this particular agenda item and then you start looking at the role of our first responders, fire and rescue, and when there is a requirement for redundancy, then, you know, this to me is a no-brainer. It's safety is job one, and equipment reliability is part of that. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner DeGard, final comments?
I always like following that no-brainer statement. No, I have no comments. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any comments either, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, the GIS mapping software, who pulled that one? That was me. Okay, Commissioner DeGard.
Thank you, Mayor. We are asked to consider all.
Do you want presentation or just questions? You just have
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think I'd like a small presentation on this, but I need to place it into context.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead.
We are asked to consider from time to time a number of purchases, and software is becoming more and more critical, and I would just want to hear on how we start the process, how it goes through the process, where engagement from departments with IT is involved, and then how we finally make a recommendation on it. And I just want to get an understanding of that process from beginning to end.
Okay, Michael, you able to do that?
Yes.
Great.
Michael Nagy, Director of IT Services. So we have an internal policy that all departments are aware of, that if they want to purchase software that we're not already licensed to use, they are to meet with IT to help evaluate the software, to vet it to the best from our side of it before purchase is made on that software.
In many cases, software is a single provider, where it's a specialized software. When it's not single provider, how do we bid it? Do we bring it in to test it? What are the processes there?
So just like any other hardware equipment purchase, if software is proprietary, we can only get the bid from that sole source. If it's software that could be purchased through resellers, depending on the cost, it will go out for bid, or we could contact the typical vendors that we deal with to get price quotes. Evaluate those quotes, and typically we always go with the lowest quote because it's the same exact product. For example, Microsoft Office 365. We don't go to Microsoft for that. We go to local vendor or typical vendors, and whoever's got the lowest price is who we go with because they all get the same product. So it depends on the cost of the software, and if it's under state contracts of some sort, we don't have to get to other bids when it comes to that. And before we even purchase it or bring it to commission or to the city manager's approval, we communicate with our purchasing agent to review the cost, and our budgeting department to review the budget cost to see if we can afford to do it. So there's various steps. We just don't go out and purchase it. We go through different channels within the city before we approach the city manager or bring it before commission for approval.
We oftentimes face software. Software is a little like marrying a company. You don't just buy the software. You end up having to have it serviced and things like that. How well do we vet the software on the basis of immediate and long-term cost?
Can you repeat that question?
Software usually comes with a service agreement that's linear over time. How do we measure and compare those costs with alternate providers?
Let me think how to answer that. If it's for example, Microsoft Office, we're not evaluating the actual software because there's no other competitive software when it comes to that. If it's a scheduling type program that one of the departments uses, if it's something they've used year after year and they need to renew it, it should be up to that department to go out and look for alternatives, to compare it to something else. There's software that IT manages and supports. There's probably about 50 different software applications that we do, and then throughout the city, there's probably maybe another 30 within the different departments that IT does not manage. We don't do anything with it other than provide network access so they could get out to the cloud for the software. But those departments manage that software. They do the renewals on the purchasing of it. One example is RecTrack is for Parks and Rec. IT never manages that, does nothing to do with it. They've been using it for years, so if they wanted to look at something else, they could evaluate it. But when they're doing that process, we hope that they would invite us into the conversation so we could help them evaluate the software as well. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, a lot of times providers will share that their software integrates well with other packages. Do we have opportunity to test that before it's used?
Typically, what we like to do on the IT side is find out what other municipalities have installed this software and reach out to those cities, whether their IT department or their project manager, to find out how well does it integrate. Because yes, everybody that sells software says, oh yeah, it'll work with it. And then you find out later on, oh, there's going to be extra cost, there's going to be extra development. So we like to vet that by reaching out to other cities to find out how well it worked for them.
Well, when these recommendations come before us, we have to trust staff a lot on the recommendation because we won't get to do what you get to do and look at the provider history and those kind of things. What we tend to do is look at the price and whether we're budgeted well for that. But thank you for that presentation, and that's all of my questions.
Great. Anyone else have any questions? Commissioner Walker?
This software is pretty critical to almost everything we do in the city, right?
This Esri?
Yeah,
Yes.
Urban planning. Is this also accessible by the Dunedin Fire and Rescue, or do they use a different system for their geomapping?
I believe it would be the same application. I'm not familiar with how they do their operations over there, but we've been using Esri since 2017. Previous to that was another, that was called Autodesk, and back then it was the Public Works Utilities Department that was using it, and found out that it did not function for what they needed to do in the city, so they moved on to Esri, which is probably the only game out there when it comes to this kind of geo software. So that's why we have to renew it each year, because there's nobody else in the game that we're aware of.
Yeah, thanks. That was my understanding. So it looks like there's an annual renewal. Is there a perpetual renewal, perpetual purchase option, or how?
No software anymore, it's licensing. The only ones I'm aware of, perpetual, or Microsoft will let you buy certain softwares perpetually with a 3-year renewal, meaning in 3 years you could keep it or no longer keep it, and you cancel your agreement with them. But software, no matter what it is, everybody wants subscription. That's how they're making their money.
Yeah, I probably just dated myself back to my software sales days, and so thanks for that.
Sure.
Vice Mayor, any questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Sandberg, any questions?
No questions, sir.
Okay, and I don't have any questions either. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. Third.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Walker and DeGard. Okay, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this issue? This would be the time to come forward.
Just have a real quick question.
Sure, Jim, just come up. You just name and address for the record in 3 minutes.
Really, Mayor Feeney?
It's kind of the role, but anyway.
Jim Cowger, 2092 Valley Drive. What's the cost of the software?
Well,
Is it-
just ask all your questions and then he can answer them afterwards.
What's the
That's kinda
cost of the software?
Okay, cost.
The cost of the renewal, and is this software upgradable, or do you have to get a new package every year? So those are my questions.
Okay, great. And when we're done with the public comment, he'll answer them. So
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Yes, Wade Carroll, 1673 Nash Court. By the way, my first commission meeting, new resident. I'm also a consultant, and we work with Esri a lot. And I think one thing this commission should also consider is it's not just necessary for, the internal mapping and so forth. I think, quite frankly, much like Microsoft Office, they have cornered the market in the GIS world. So, it would be necessary. It would create a great deal of problems with being able to share files with Florida DOT, with Forward Pinellas, a lot of your agency partners, or even your consultants that you hire. So it really is kind of, Esri does have a little bit of an upper hand, but I just want to tell you that there really isn't a whole lot of other options from a GIS perspective. So just wanted to make that point.
Thank you, Wade, and welcome to Dunedin. It's good to have smart people moving in here. That's awesome. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this issue? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close down public comment and we'll go to the questions. Cost of the software, renewal cost, and upgrade. Does it have to be upgraded every year? I think I got those right. Okay.
Again, Michael Nagy, Director of IT Services. So the cost is an annual subscription to use their licensing, unlimited for the number of users. Starting in FY26, it'll be $42,200 per year. It's a 3-year contract. That's the way they do their subscription. So the total amount we're asking Commission approve is $126,200 over 3 years. Each year they'll bill us the $42,200. And at the end of the 3-year plan, like everything else, there'll be an increase. We had one term for 6 years, we didn't have an increase. And then it seemed like after COVID, then the prices went up on everything. So there is, upgrades are, whatever Esri does, it's automatic to us. We don't pay for upgrades. We don't have to worry about that. We don't own the software. We're purchasing a subscription license to be able to use the software. So it is theirs. We're just, it's like leasing a car. If we decide at the end of the term we don't want to use it anymore, we'll give it back.
So for right now, it's the $42,200 a year, and there's no other upfront cost?
That's
or?
it. There's no other cost. We don't do it. We just pay that be able to use the software all year, and then next year the same 42,000, and FY '28, another
Great.
42,000.
Thank you. Hopefully that helped you. Okay, thanks. Okay, I will go to final comments, starting with the maker of the motion, which was Commissioner Walker.
No, I have no additional comments.
And then seconder, Commissioner Dugard.
No comments.
Vice Mayor?
No comment.
And Commissioner Sandbergen?
Nothing additional, Mayor.
Okay, I don't have any comments either, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Okay, we will go to 2G, Clearwater Ferry Service Interlocal Agreement, and I know that Commissioner Walker, you pulled this item, so do you want full presentation or just questions or?
No, I don't have no full presentation or questions, but I do want to recognize our PSTA partners in this. They were very instrumental in putting together this interlocal agreement, and I have to tell you that as a city, this is going to be great for our residents. It's going to be great for our visitors to Dunedin. It's going to promote our business. It's going to allow our residents another option to get over to Clearwater Beach and the Sound. And the other part of it is there was a significant investment with new ferries. They've still got the new ferry smell. And they're quite exceptional. So this is a very exciting project that we're embarking upon. Brad, do you want to say anything? Well, I want to introduce Brad Miller. He's CEO of PSTA, and CFO Debbie Lewis.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Commissioner Walker, who is your representative on PSTA. You took everything I was going to say. I do have our great CFO with me, Debbie Lewis, who joined me up here. And yeah, I really wanted to come, even though this was on your consent agenda, just to promote it to Dunedin residents. You know, I think we want to thank the City of Clearwater for helping us get a temporary dock installed in your marina to get this service going, because they have a vested interest as well in having folks from Dunedin go down to their music venue at Coachman Park, the Sound. And so the service will run every day on every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday between Dunedin and Coachman Park on what they're going to call the Blue Route. And it'll be an $8 fare, but it'll run typically from noon to 9, and then it'll run extra for the concert. When there's a concert there, we'll extend it there. So please, it's going to start on October 9th, Thursday, October 9th, and we're trying to organize a ribbon cutting event. And we'll, like we did at the Clearwater one, we'll have little sailor hats for you all to wear.
Oh,
Don't
that's
be
awesome.
invited. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially Commissioner Walker, who I understand is a sailor himself. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You
thank
get a skipper hat or something,
well,
maybe, you know?
that's- yeah.
That'd be nice.
I lost the last one, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Any other questions, Commissioner Dugard?
Other than that line, I just wondered what the frequency of the ferry is going to be throughout the week at the dock. I mean, how frequently will we see the ferry? How often will it visit Dunedin? How often will it go to Clearwater and Clearwater Beach? What's the cycle? Give me a little bit of a picture on that, please.
So, as Commissioner Walker said, the service is being operated with 2 brand-new boats funded by the state of Florida, provided that funding. And so there'll be 1 boat going between Clearwater and Dunedin on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, about every hour departures. Basically, every hour departures from Dunedin and from Clearwater up and back. The ridership has been very strong on the Clearwater piece so far. It's obviously its peak time is spring break in the springtime, but we've started to see an uptick even in the last couple of weeks going into the fall from the dead of the summer. But yeah, I think it's going to be very, very popular.
So if somebody were to happen upon the marina and they wanted to go to Clearwater on the ferry, they'd never have to wait more than 55 minutes or so for the next ferry.
Correct. Yeah, and there'll be information there, and then there's an app where you can pay your fare and get more information about it, even track where it is. So it's really pretty good.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Might as well stay right there, Brad. Vice Mayor, any questions?
Comments?
I'll do comments separate.
No questions.
Questions, Commissioner Sandberg?
Unless I missed it, so from Dunedin you can go to Clearwater Beach, am I right?
Yes, yes. It'll actually go down to Coachman Park from Dunedin, is my understanding, and then it'll go over to Clearwater Beach. You can stay on it and go. It kind of does the loop.
Okay, so it's the same
Same
vessel?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's all I needed. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just so I'm clear, so it goes from here to Coachman to Clearwater Beach, then does it go back to Coachman, or it comes right to Dunedin?
Then it goes back to from Clearwater Beach. It goes to Dunedin.
Say it
Kind of
again?
does a loop. Dunedin.
so it just does-
Coachman, Clearwater Beach, Dunedin.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. I thought that's what it did. I just want to make sure. Okay, so, good. No more questions? So Brad, you don't have?
Just one clarification,
Sure.
if I may.
Mhm.
We're going to need to work with PSTA about that ribbon cutting, because it wouldn't be October 9th, because nobody here could go, probably, if it's in the evening.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, we want to go.
right. So
It's a
maybe
big deal.
we'll talk about it, Brad.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And thank
And
you
let's
to
make
you.
sure we reach out to former Mayor Bajalski, because that was a passion of hers, so. Okay, so, okay, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry, Rob.
You can switch with them.
Yeah, give it to Rob.
I should have
Thank-
just given it to you to begin with.
Thank
so.
you, Vice Mayor. I just want to thank you, Brad and Debbie, for your partnership. And, you know, the Clearwater Ferry is just one thing. They worked during the last legislative session to basically get the House infrastructure appropriation, an earmark established in that through Congressman Luna's office. And I have to say, thank you for that. You guys are awesome partners. Thank you.
Excited.
Okay, Commissioner DeGard?
Yes, I think this is going to be a magnificent addition to the communities, our community particularly. I'm excited about it because I plan on using it myself, because I don't like necessarily going across the causeway at Clearwater. Inside this particular project, I think that there's a lot of credit to be paid to our past mayor and a number of people that had the vision, and our businesses and our community is going to benefit. Thank you so much.
Okay, final comments, Vice Mayor? Thank you for giving the motion over to Commissioner Walker. That was great.
That's as it should have been, so absolutely. And thank you, City Manager, for your comments, because, yeah, if you could also make sure that the ribbon cutting is after 4 o'clock, because I have a day job, and I want to make sure that I'm
I think Brad knows about that.
Because I've got a really, really tough supervisor, and
You do.
I don't know that I can get time off.
Right.
But thank you. You know, Rob took a lot of the thunder. But you guys really have been wonderful partners. It's great to have just one more tool in the toolbox for transportation. And this is really gonna just do wonderful things. Our businesses have been dying for it, and it was great that the City of Clearwater reached out to us and said, hey, we can help you with some aspects of it. And it really showed a sense of cross-communication and municipalities helping each other, all for a shared service. And so it was just, the whole process has been wonderful and positive, and everybody's been so excited. So it'll just be a wonderful thing once we cut that ribbon. So thank you all very much.
Okay, final comments, Commissioner Sandberg?
To sort of add to what Commissioner Gao said, you know, that the merchants have contacted us. They've talked about the people that are not coming because of the service being out, and it's just another step in recovery from what we went through last year, and glad to have you back in town. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just echo all what the commission said. I'm excited about it. I serve on Forward Pinellas, and, you know, of course, we see all the studies, how important this is in that whole kind of toolkit of transportation. And I know there was just a big push. Even some of the county commissioners would be like, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, and anxious to utilize it. So it's a great kind of a hub and connector, and appreciate all the great work you guys have done to make it happen. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. So we got to have a great ribbon cutting. So I did not take public comment, so I want to make sure, open it up for public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that does wish to come forward and talk on the ferry issue? Okay, come on down, name and address for the record, and 3 minutes.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah.
I will make this very brief. My name is Nancy Ellen Hale. My address is 509 Ashley Drive in Dunedin. However, I'm speaking on behalf of our business, which is Bon Appetit. And when we had the ferry before, I can't tell you how many people got off and were just so thrilled. They had such a good time. The captains were so gracious, and they just were treated so well. And then they got off and were able to go all the way downtown and enjoy their time, come back, get on, and go back to Clearwater. Again, obviously, this is for tourists, but it's also good for the locals. And that famous parking word, this certainly helps a lot, because people can, like Commissioner Dugard mentioned, people don't like to have to drive or find parking places, so they can get on that ferry, come over and relax, and then get back on and go back. So I can't say enough about it. We're all excited about the grand opening and a reopening and the ribbon cutting for sure. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellen.
That was a wonderful testimony. Can we grab that off the video? I throw
That
that
was
up on
great.
social media? Thank you, Ellen.
It was
very
good marketing.
much.
Anyone else in the audience that wishes to come forward and speak on this issue? Okay, seeing no one, I will close public input, and I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously, and let's go boat. Awesome. Thank you for being here again, both of you.
Now, I hear the living room is delicious. and Debbie's buying, I hear. So.
Okay, we are going to take a quick break and then come back, and so we can get into our action items. Okay, we're going to restart the meeting. You guys are in place. There you go. Okay, our first action item, gentlemen, our first action item is Resolution 25-30, authorizing the execution of Florida Department of Emergency Management state-funded grant agreement B0245 in the amount of $250,000, funding the installation of impact-resistant windows and doors at the City of Dunedin Water Treatment Plant Administrative Building. Jen, would you please read Resolution 25-30 by title only?
Yes, Resolution 25-30, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dunedin, Florida, authorizing the city to enter into a state-funded grant agreement with the Florida Department of Emergency Management to install impact-resistant windows and doors at the Dunedin Water Treatment Plant Administrative Building located at 1401 County Road 1, Dunedin, Florida, and providing for an effective date. That was Resolution 25-30, read by title only.
You're getting good at closing that off, girl. They're good. Okay, I would like a motion to adopt Resolution 25-30.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got Walker and Gal.
Got to be faster than that.
Right. Okay, well, we're on the motion train here. Yeah, okay. So we have a Nicole and Camille team here, so. Wow, okay, you've got your own fan club here.
We have a fan club here.
Okay, take it, you know.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Nicole Delfino, Strategy and Sustainability Manager here to bring forward just really a requirement of accepting the grant agreement is that the Florida Department of Emergency Management is requiring a resolution to accompany the agreement. And so that is why we're here today, in order to accept the $250,000 to use towards hardening of the water treatment facility. So yes, we are bringing money. We're bringing the money home.
Okay. All right. So questions for staff? I'll start with Commissioner Walker.
Well, I don't really have any questions, but I certainly have some comments. Well, all right. So one question. I'm still amazed. Well, actually, it's going to feed in my comments, but I'm always amazed that we have to approve basically receiving money from another agency. So why is that?
In the grant itself, they require that the governing body have a resolution accepting it.
All right. Okay. Well, that's fair. Okay. Thank you.
I think the other answer is so that our city manager doesn't get ahead of us, you know? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, a rogue city manager. Okay.
You're saying we're speed bumps?
I did not say that.
Okay, questions, Commissioner DeGard?
Thank you, Mayor. Having read a little bit of this contract, and I understand the compliance nature of it, if I'm reading it correctly, we have to provide of a project that's going to be totaling $386,000, approximately $136,000, and is that budgeted in the next year? So we're set on our part of the commitment.
Yes.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, questions, Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, going on the assumption of approval tonight, what's the timeline for everything?
The timeline for this project is extremely quick. It's simply the removal of exterior windows and doors with the replacement of impact-resistant windows and doors. That's a pretty quick turnaround. I don't, off the top of my head, recall the exact schedule that we had proposed. I believe it's within about a year. Sorry.
We just bring the money.
Clay, can you add some enlightenment?
Yes, Clay Watkins, Utilities and Engineering. Roughly, once we know, so we still have to bid the project out. We want to make sure we have all the qualifications based on what is needed as part of the grant. So now that we know we have all this information, we'll put the bid out, we'll put the item out to bid. You know, that's 30 days plus all the time to bring it here in front of you. So we're probably looking, plus purchase the windows, this will probably be a spring activity.
Okay, all right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Sandberg, any questions?
I think it was, as I was looking through, you know, the building will be hardened against flood and wind. I mean, it seems like there's probably a lot more. I mean, make it more fireproof, just safer, less apt to be damaged by bad people or anything else. I really, it wasn't a question, it was more of a statement, but I am glad to see this. That's all. I'm sorry, Mayor.
Great, no, you're good. You're good. I don't actually have any questions, so we will go to public input. Does anyone in the audience wish to come forward and speak on this issue? Seeing no one, I will close public input, and we'll go to final commission comments, starting with maker of the motion, Commissioner Walker.
No, I just think it's great. You know, we've been talking about having a grant writer and somebody who's tracking these opportunities, and I just love it when it comes to fruition. So, thank you.
Great. Seconder motion, Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly echo Commissioner Walker's comments, and just to acknowledge that, yeah, hardening of city infrastructure and facilities is equally as important as it is for the residents. And so it's nice to see this happen. It's nice that it's fully budgeted, and so this is just a matter of helping us out a little bit. So thank you very much for all the work that you do.
Okay. Final comments, Commissioner Sandberg?
I'm glad to see it. Good job as usual, and way to bring it home. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Dugard, final comments.
Is there more money like this out there? Okay.
Lots.
I think this is proving the investment in your position is paying off well. I've got nothing but support for this. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, and I'll just ditto all that. You know, you got your own fan club here, so I'm not going to go against it. But no, seriously, great job. I mean, this isn't all. I know I can see the production happening here, you know, with the grants and our legislative actions and things like that. So this is great, and obviously resiliency, sustainability, it's all about that. So that's great to get that money, like basically 2/3 of it, right? So that's awesome. Okay, I need to go to roll call vote.
Commissioner Dugard?
Aye.
Commissioner Sandbergen?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Gao?
Aye.
Commissioner Walker?
Aye.
And Mayor Franey?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. And thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, 3B, change order number 2 to service authorization number W-4-24 with Chen Moore and Associates for additional engineering design services, construction inspections, and record documents in the amount of $314,372.50. And we just had the ladies team. Now we have the man team of Clay and Martin. So we'll just see how you do. We'll see how you do. So.
Apparently we lost our fan club, so.
Okay. All right, so staff presentation. Take it, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Commission. Clayton Watkins, Utilities and Engineering. As mentioned today, item 3B is the approval of change order number 2 to the service authorization W-424 with Chin Moore and Associates for additional design services, construction administration in the amount of $314,372.50. This service authorization for the design, as part of the service authorization for the design of the utility relocations of FDOT's projects to widen the intersection of Broadway, Alternate 19, Curlew, State Road 586. Change order number 2 includes additional engineering cost to develop separate temporary traffic control plans for the utility relocations to meet FDOT's accelerated design schedule. Additional design reviews requested by FDOT during the process, and construction administration, or CEI, which includes inspections. The temporary traffic control and the inspections were not included in the original scope of work. The additional construction administration service will assist the city in inspections of our city utilities, as these inspections are not included in FDOT's roadway CEI work. City staff has reviewed the proposal for change order number 2 and found it satisfactory in order to see the project through construction completeness. As such, staff hereby recommends commission approval of change order number 2 to Chen Moore, an amount not to exceed of $314,372.50. And we thank you, and we're here for any questions.
Okay, questions. I'll start with Vice Mayor this time.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't like this item, but what brought this about?
So a lot of these changes happened when we came in about April to do the agreement for the highway, for their contractor to do the work. At the same time, when they extended their contract, DOT went about and did some extra changes to their plan. Like specifically, one item in this is their discharge point for their stormwater to Curlew Creek. They made a revision that put in sort of a head wall system, some walls and structures. That required us to have to dip our water main and go underneath the Curlew Creek farther. So we incurred some cost with that design. We actually did multiple DOT reviews because they'll review our plans as part of their design plan review process. They have what is referred to as sort of their first mailing. That's when they send everything to DOT for review. We did one back in April, May when we were finalizing everything, and just recently had to do another one.
And this is all the result of, right, the changes we're doing on Curlew Road.
Correct. As they're
And
moving their
they-
plans around, we need to sort of, unfortunately, because we're in their right-of-way, we have to sort of move our stuff out of their way.
Right, and it is part of the agreement, or for them to do what they do, it's the city takes on the responsibility of moving our stuff.
Yes, when it's in somebody else's right-of-way, unfortunately, we have to sort of play
And
their
this is,
game.
and this is more for residents who
No, understandable.
might be getting caught up. And so what happened was they accelerated, and I loved that phrase, right? They accelerated their time, which is, thank you, DOT, for doing that. But they also included some design changes, which negatively impacted us, right? And so that's what kind of we're here for. That they made changes, and because they made changes, we have to make changes.
That is correct.
And it's costing us $315,000,
Yes.
right? Okay. It's just, that's all.
Yeah, I would say of the 315, roughly half of that is design changes. The other half is for the construction administration and the inspections.
And they promise that these road changes are going to be wonderful, going to positively impact transportation, right?
That's what they're saying, yes. I'm not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, questions, Commissioner Sandbergen?
Is Chedmore, are they already on the job?
Yes.
Our guys?
Yes, they were our design firm from when we started the project, and we've just, unfortunately, due to DOT, there's been scope creep and additional work that we've had to do.
So the additional cost, is there any possibility to recover from anybody else, county, DOT, or is this is ours?
The only hope of, sort of recovery, I would say, is it is a non-to-exceed, so there is an assumed time for them to do inspections. If that does not, those inspection hours are not what was in the, we're less than the proposals, the only way this number is going to go down, but we have we went back and forth a lot on the number of times we thought they would be there, so.
Okay, that's all. Thanks, Clay.
Okay, Commissioner Walker, questions?
So I just need to clarify a couple things. So Chedmore and Associates is under contract with us, right?
Currently, yes.
And it was FDOT's design that resulted in change 2.
Yes, it's their design and I guess the other thing I shouldn't, as I mentioned earlier, they required the city to do a temporary traffic control plan in addition to their temporary traffic control plan in the case or the instance that something happens and we had to get out in front of them to do the work. That is also in there also. But yes, they were our original design engineer on this project.
Okay. And as a result of their change, was there any, I'm just curious as to what was the impetus of this? What drove this change? Why did it have to be done? And
So as it would sit today, a lot of, if we left our utilities in the locations that they are today, they would either be in conflict with proposed stormwater pipes that they're proposing. Underneath the roadway, a lot of times we want to be outside of their road, outside of the pavement, so it's easier to maintain, or we don't have if it's a failure, you're not closing roads and all that other stuff. So if they widen, we need to set outside of their travel lanes.
okay, and their travel lanes, tell me the scope of their travel lane again?
So what they are proposing to do is they are widening to 2 lanes through the intersection. It's roughly from probably about 600 to 700 feet north of the bridge crossing at Curlew Creek. And at that point in time, they're going to widen it to just go north. We'll go north to south is easier to say. So starting from 600 feet north of the bridge, it'll widen to 2 lanes, and they're extending the right turn lane that's there today. So if you're moving north, you'll have basically sort of 3 lanes moving north, and then the left turn lane comes in. And as you're heading south, it's a small 600, 700, not even 600, about a 500-foot taper, then it'll be back to the 2 lanes. There is a pedestrian crossing that's Baywood Shores Boulevard on the south side. And then as you go through the intersection, heading north on alternate 19, you'll get through and then it'll taper back before you get to the turn.
Okay.
And then the same similar action will happen on Curlew heading eastbound.
Okay. So then, basically, the design resulted in needing our requirement to deconflict our basically electrical infrastructure from the proposed stormwater conduit.
Well, specifically, this is water, sewer, and reclaimed.
Okay.
So we had to move all that move it out of their way so they could build their roadway. Because it's the same thing if we do a project and the electric company or another company has something in our right of way and it's going to affect our design, they have to move on their cost also.
Okay, but at the end of the day, one of the reasons for this was to accelerate the timeline?
That is part of the reason, yes.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I was looking for some good out of this.
Yeah. And as far as we know, they are still on track for a letting date or bid closing in the first week of December-ish.
Okay, last question. So that $300,000, is that just design, or were there sunk costs as a result of work that's already started?
Yeah, you got that.
Martin Wade, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. It's basically a forced part service additional change order. There's almost $180,000, which is construction services from pre-construction time through on the people on the job during construction and inspection services. We had the temporary traffic control drawings. They were going to put the utility work out first. They made a decision, they bundled them all together, but they made us do the temporary traffic control drawings, and the designers did that for us.
Okay.
And then through this last submittal, there have been some design changes with minor conflicts at Curlew Bridge with some stormwater that the designers also had to redesign the plans they had finished last December. So like Clay said, the inspection fee may come down because they may not be on site quite as many days as they planned. We hope they're not, but we had to budget a relative number for the job.
Okay. And my understanding, this was, for the most part, this basically scope creep was already kind of in the budget planned for as a contingency, right?
I would say it's scope creep that was unplanned for.
Okay. All right. Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay, questions, Commissioner DeGard?
Yeah, following this crowd's a little like being the last one to get the potatoes bowl on Thanksgiving, you know, you just don't have much left. As I get this, we're being told to move utilities by the state. We've got to pay for that. Now, they've handed us another situation because they've made, this isn't even a field change, this is a design change. They've made design changes, and we're having to pay for that. Is this the correct grasp of the situation?
That is a great summary. Yes.
Okay. What's going to keep this from happening again? Could they go through this again and show up with more changes that we have to adjust to and have another contract?
It is possible.
Oh, good.
We are hoping it does not happen.
I would think so.
But if they are still following their schedule for getting everything out, and they should have hopefully wrapped everything up by now.
And
If
what
they're
is it?
still following their they're trying to open their bids in early December.
Okay.
So they should be having something on the street soon, so most of those changes should be done.
All right. You know, we just received $250,000 from the state, so I can't be too angry at them today. But on the other hand, how do we let them know this is a problem?
I mean, when we're in the review process and when DOT does a lot of these, what we do is they send out comments, and there is a period that everybody can get it. We run a virtual room and making discussion. So we can make comments that are, you know, you are affecting us, or, hey, if you move this a little bit this way, or we won't have to move as far. So the design engineers do have that interaction during the process.
So you'd characterize the relationship as collegial?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It wasn't, here's the bill, go away. Okay. Just want to be sure what we're dealing with here. All right. Well, as distasteful, I share Commissioner Gao's view that this is probably one of the most distasteful things on our agenda tonight. You're being evaluated in a few minutes. I'd be quiet.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think it's the next one that's distasteful.
Yes. And that did not come from me. I didn't say that, because we're not to that other item.
All right. I think that's as good as I can get. Thanks, Mayor.
So my only question is, would it be typical for it to happen not just twice, but another time? I mean, does that happen a lot, where they redesign even a third and fourth time?
It's DOT. They have a tendency to sort of make a design change when they want to. So it really depends on whether, I mean, this project went from a design build to a design bid build. The Curlew project was a separate one. It came back in as another one. They made changes. Luckily, they made changes in the Curlew projects that did not affect our utilities that we thought were happening before. So until there's shovels in the ground, there's always a possibility, and even afterwards, so.
Right.
I think, Mayor, if I may, I
Sure.
mean, I think we can certainly convey to them in all the meetings that
Yes.
you're having that the city commission had plenty of discussion tonight about this, and it was passed grudgingly.
Yeah. Well, I just want to highlight that the ladies brought us, money, and you guys are, so as far as messengers
We
go,
went, we just went,
I'm sorry, Mayor, you poked the bear on that one. So I will remind the commission that at 6 p.m. this evening, Skinner Boulevard opened up. So the DOT giveth and they taketh away.
well
right?
done. They are.
So we got quite a good deal on Skinner as far as DOT contribution, and to Jennifer's point, we have a pretty good relationship with District 7, and I speak to Ron Chin regularly. And so when it comes time on future projects to negotiate their contribution, this is where we remind them of how many times they changed their mind and how much money they cost us to move out of their right-of-way.
Okay, well, very good. We are so hand-slapped on that one, since they're 5 months early on the Skinner project, so, okay, very, very good. They're a very good partner for us, so we have to be careful. Okay, let's see, so I will go to opening public input. Anyone in the audience who wishes to come forward and speak on this issue? Seeing no one, I will close public input. I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to take DeGard and Sandbergen, right? Okay. And final comments, starting with maker of the motion, Commissioner DeGard.
Thank you, Mayor. We're all excited about this road improvement. We're not excited about the bill we've just been handed. This is one of the busiest intersections in our community. It's important that it's safe. It's important this work get done, and it get done well. I do think there needs to be a method of expressing hope that in the future this kind of thing will be avoided. There's got to be better planning than this. I like the factor that they're trying to accelerate the calendar. That's also a plus. But $314,000 is a lot of money for Dunedin. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, seconder of the motion, Commissioner Sandbergen.
I have nothing else to add, Mayor.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. You know, adding additional lanes and widening lanes certainly improves transportation and traffic, said no one ever. This really does bother me, but they did do a great job on Skinner, and they were 5 months ahead of schedule, and that is to be commended. I knew that was a Herculean effort on DOT's part. And this is about accelerating that project. And you might have mentioned it, Clay, and I know this is comments, not questions, but what was the acceleration part on this? Do we know?
I think it was,
the impact this will have?
yeah, I think they moved it from being, you know, in their, see if this would be, they're in 26, probably from their 27 work plan to their 26, because they are in 26 now.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And certainly expediting projects does come at a cost. And so I want to try and recognize that. But to Commissioner DeGarde's point, yeah, this is a bitter pill to swallow, especially when it's not budgeted. And so we'll figure it out, and we always do. But that's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, and who do I have left? Commissioner Walker?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have to echo the comments. Yeah, this one's a really hard one to understand. And, you know, so I'm trying to find, you know, the good in this. And, you know, I would say that, you know, from my experience, our relationship with FDOT has always been good. And I like that he who giveth taketh away. That was a good one. The other part of this is because of that corridor and that artery, you know, the criticality of getting this done correctly and getting it done quickly is paramount. And when we start looking at that particular area and juxtapose Curlew Creek and just the positioning of all the infrastructure and making sure that, because regardless of whether the lane was wide, it was moved because the lane was widened, the fact of the matter still remains that it's got to be done correctly. So, you know, I really struggle with this. I will also say, though, that I am really hoping at the end of this there's a recourse that we can embark upon here to see if there is something can be done to mitigate this financial hit to us. So it's this, you know, a no vote on this would be devastating to the project. That would just not be good.
Maybe we can ask him to pick up Waywood Bridge cost.
There you go.
Yeah, so I would ask, yeah, mitigate, you know, how can we just mitigate the damage? Not the real damage, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, and I'll just echo all the comments that my colleagues said, and but I don't have any additional comments, so I am going to go voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes unanimously. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. 3C, staff is actually requesting that action item 3C, agreement with Crowder Golf Joint Ventures, be continued to the October 9, 2025 commission meeting being held at Dunedin City Hall. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Gal, Walker. And, okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And motion passed unanimously. Yeah, good job, good job, ladies. You were my favorite presentation of the night.
That was stellar.
Go get a beer.
Okay, the next item is City Manager's Annual Performance Evaluation. Teresa's going to guide us through this. Teresa, I am thinking that we might do a round of each commissioner appraising, then the raise issue, then lastly, next year's goals. So we have 3 steps in this. But I'll let you kind of guide us.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Teresa Smalling, Director of HR and Risk Management for the city. As you have before you, it is now time once again for the city manager's annual evaluation. I'm not supposed to look over there. And her, she is, per her contract, evaluated each year on or around her anniversary date of hire, which is August 28th. So the commission was sent the memo to invite them to go ahead and fill out the evaluation form and then meet with Jennifer to discuss her annual performance. The commission all sent their completed forms and they were compiled into one form, which is a supplement that was sent out on Monday. At this time, as for our newer commissioners, usually we go through the evaluation form and just kind of discuss the comments and any other ratings that they may want to.
Okay, so I think typically kind of how we've done it is, one at a time, we just kind of do an overall summary of how we've scored, or at least, some commentary on how we are assessing our city manager's performance over the last year. So we'll stay with that, and then we'll move to raise, and then we'll move to future goals. So 3 steps. So the first one would be just giving an overall summary of how you feel the city managers performed in the last year, and highlight anything that is comfortable for you. So I will start, I guess, with the Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so glad that my evaluations aren't in public. Oh, my goodness, adds a whole nother level to it later. No, Jennifer, thank you for the past year. It's been hard on residents, it's been hard on staff, it's been hard on commission, it's been hard on you. And a lot of that falls onto your shoulders. Right, we've already heard part of the recap of today between storms and inflation and everything, that it's been a hard year. And your ability to remain calm is amazing when you've got at least one, probably 5 people running up to you in a panic, or a phone call or a text or an email. And you're just, is something to behold. Thank you for the efforts you've done on the legislative work. Certainly in this past year, but since I've been on the commission, there's just been an extreme focus on legislative issues and making sure that we have those professional relationships with county legislators, with the state legislators, and certainly those points of staff with DOT, et cetera, et cetera. And thank you, and I need to realize that you may not do a lot of that, but you are accountable for it, and so thank you for that. We just voted on a grant earlier today, and that's because of you. So thank you for what you've done with grants. Thank you for your leadership during the storm. Thank you even more for your leadership in the recovery after the storm. That is ongoing. Thank you for your efforts on getting the ferry service. We talked about that just tonight. And things like that just don't happen tonight. That was months in the making. And so thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And that's my comments.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Sandbergen.
I remember the first time I met Jennifer. I guess probably anybody sitting up here, I'm not sure, has known you any longer than I have. When you walked into that suite in Toronto, when we were watching the baseball game, and I wondered who you were. And all these years later, here we sit. I'm still in my freshman year as being a commissioner, but my notes were pretty self-explanatory. Right after you started, of course, we had Hurricane Irma. We just got cleaned up from that, and you rolled us through COVID, and what I admired is you were the face of the city. You didn't hide. You led from the front. I've heard people stand here and, the way they talk about the city, and, they don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. And, we just get over COVID, and then, of course, these 2024 hurricanes. And again, you led from the front. And, I found myself waiting to hear from you. We by chance happened to work out in the same gym. And I said, if you're in here and you feel safe because of COVID, then I feel safe. And that's your leadership. And you're the only city manager I've ever worked with, but in our travels and our meeting of other communities, you're very highly praised in, I guess, your little community of city managers. And I appreciate, you are a Dunedin resident. I think you might have slipped up the other day and said, I want to retire here. And those words landed. I heard every word you said, and good things happen to good people. And on behalf of the city of Dunedin, I'm very glad that we have you, and I look forward to many more years of working with you. So that's all I have to say, Mayor.
Commissioner. Thank you.
Great. Commissioner Walker?
Thank you, Mayor. I've always been impressed by, your ability to make what initially looks like a bad situation so much better on the back end. And, I probably the high point of all this was how you managed the storms and, more importantly, the recovery. There was no question in my mind that we learned lessons from Irma, because you and your staff leaned so far forward on debris removal. That was exceptional. In light of 450 households that were displaced, and I drove those neighborhoods, and I saw firsthand the devastation. Fast forward 1 year, and here we sit. And, things are getting to a point, and we're not quite there yet. I mean, but I'll tell you, you drive around other areas in Pinellas County, they're not even close to being there. And so I do want to just remark on a couple of the things. I mean, we were the first city to get the debris removed. We were the first city that started receiving our FEMA reimbursements. And, on top of that, I think our recovery has been a lot faster than in other areas. And I think the other remarkable thing to me is the fact that even in light of having to work through the recovery part of this, and oh, by the way, your poise and grace during the storms was just, that is the mark of a true leader. And, but, during the recovery and all that had to be done for this, you were still able to look forward ahead. Ferry is a great example. Getting the city, your commission, everything in place so that we could make our first consolidated trip up to Tallahassee. When I first came on the commission, I said, we need to have more of a presence. We need a lobbyist. We need to go to Tallahassee. We need to do this, and you made it happen. So anyway, I think you're exceptional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Dugard?
Now for the other side. No. I think my colleagues have done an excellent job of talking about our leader here. What I like is the culture she builds. She builds a culture. And she deflects every time I give her compliments on the culture. She says stuff like, oh, it was here before I was, and I've just managed not to break it. I don't buy that for a second. I do, from time to time, leadership consulting and coaching. If all the leaders out there were like her, I would starve to death, because there's not much to say to her that would improve her performance. And I look for those things because that's one of our jobs. This is our job that's written out. We must evaluate the manager every year so that the city is sure that the executive of this community is the right person doing the right things at the right time at the right cost. She nails them all. She nails them all. I've only been working with her now for 10 months. I remember the first couple of encounters I had with her as a new commissioner. And she helped us through, both Stephen and myself, the whirlwind that we walked into. I kept thinking that after the campaign, I might have a nice period of rest. And then I was told on Saturday, you'll be greeting people at their front door for the holidays. And it just kept going from there. I'm just amazed that she can keep the calendar. The calendar is gargantuan. This city overhits its weight every time. We're more active. We are a place people want to be. We built that reputation intentionally. And she has propelled it even further than it was. It's an honor to work with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, I think she's doing a terrible job. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm just kidding. Going last in this case is kind of a benefit, It's just my mind's working hard. And I was just thinking about this commission has clearly different positions, and we debate different issues. We vote differently on some things. But being somebody who came up through assistant city manager, city management reigns, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've seen how it works. And I also know that one of the keys to the ability for this board to debate well, come to good decisions, is by having a fair, impartial person at the city manager helm, quite honestly, who's not playing games. And trust me, there's a lot of professional city managers out there that will play games. And Jennifer, I think probably number one, and this has been true for the whole 8 years, because I will remind you, 8 years ago, I made the motion to hire you, and I'm proud of that today. But you have always been an honest broker. You've been an honest broker, regardless if you agree or disagree on certain issues with one or the other of us at different times. You are an honest broker. And that is so critical to the whole way we govern. And so I just want to say I appreciate that first. I'm going to read my one paragraph here, just to kind of get it out. Jennifer continues to be an excellent city manager for the city of Dunedin. She's extremely competent, very transparent, has great integrity, great communication skills, is a very talented problem solver, and she loves the Dunedin community. It's been a tough year due to the unprecedented hurricanes and major storm recovery. Jennifer and her staff have done a fantastic job of managing the many challenges and trying to stay on top of other important city priorities at the same time. And of course, I highlight some things, and I think, and I've shared this with you, I think this was one of your best years. And when I say that, you had really tough stuff this year. I mean, on top of the hurricanes and, being a victim of the hurricane myself from my home, I also know the frustration our community had about the marina and the pier. And you just, you stand there and you take the heat and you figure out better ways to do it, faster ways to do it, creative ways to do it. And I don't know always that the public totally understands just the depth of that professionalism and hard work. But, along with everything from the storm, there was a ton of other stuff to do. And of course, just before the storm, we finished the noise ordinance and outdoor dining, which was an extremely controversial issue in our community. And again, because you stood in that stead and you kind of, kept your cool and tried to manage what would be the best decision, and I think help us along. And I know we were all in very different places. The historic preservation ordinance, I mean, that's not totally done yet, but of course a lot of it has been done during this time span. Baywood Shores, North Douglas, Boat Club building, its tear down, and then how we move forward. I mean, just think about it. Think about those really hot button issues that have been tough for people, and you are I wrote down here, competent, compassionate, and caring when you do these things. You're strong. You have the ability to say no when you have to. And you do it because you're a professional, extremely competent city manager, but you also do it because you love the community. And sometimes I remember 8 years ago, and I think it's so true today. My dream was to have a city manager that we could hire 8 years ago that had all the cylinders covered, all the spokes of the wheel, not just competence, not just problem solving, not just good communication skills, but actually got the community, got the vibe, loved the community. And I continue to be impressed with you, with your employees. I think that I thought about, and Commissioner Sandberg, you'll appreciate this too, at the Public Works Rodeo, when you literally would not leave till you had been on every piece of Public Works equipment and took apart and put together a water meter. And again, it shows the leadership, because it shows that you understand that sometimes people don't always understand the depths of expertise at the different levels of this organization. And that means a lot to workers. I mean, how you feel about where you work. I mean, you always want to be well compensated, but, a lot of times people leave because they just don't feel appreciated. And those things mean a lot. I guess the other thing I think that, I've followed you too as you're, kind of setting things up, setting succession plans, figuring out, who the right hires are, who to creatively try to keep that people try to steal, and figuring out HR logical ways that you can do that. And that's the trick, being able to kind of move, jump, shift, and be creative with how you do that. So that people really do feel out they'll stay and build their career here versus getting stolen away from some other organization. So I will just, and I have down here, and I put it on here. It's my first year as Dunedin mayor, and I really appreciate the very open, honest, trusted relationship that I have with you. I feel like I can come in at any time. I can spout off. I can challenge you. We can have a knockdown, drag-out debate, and then we'll walk away, and we can still be friends. I mean, and that is, again, and I think everybody feels that. I've heard this tonight, and that is what breeds excellence. It just is. When everybody feels like they can just let it out and debate it out, that is what builds excellence. And you bring that to the city. Again, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly city managers, and you are one outstanding city manager. And I just want to say thank you for being part of our community in every way.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, on that note, obviously we're not going score by score, but for those of you out there, she scored either outstanding or excellent in every category, and so thank you. All right, no, we're getting some kudos out there. Okay. So now we'll go.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think she deserves applause for this one.
Jennifer, I'll give you a chance to talk after we do the raise.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right. Teresa, under the raise, what is the cap that she get? We've always followed what the same range that the employees get. So can you guide us with that?
Sorry, the maximum that an employee, a general employee can receive is 3.5%.
Okay, well, I know I put 3.5 down. I know somebody else put max down. Do I have a motion for what?
3.5.
3.5, okay. Second. Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Jennifer, would you like to say a few words before we go over goals for next year and overwhelmed you? Go ahead.
Before we go on to next year, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, I would like to say a few words. And first of all, thank you to the 5 of you for that evaluation. I do think it was the best of my career ever. And I'm actually 35 years in now. So I know that kind of gives away, anyway, I started when I was 5, right? But,
Yeah.
And, you know, first of all, I will say it has been probably the most difficult year also of my career, and I think that some members of staff would agree. I know that the five of you agree, probably, as commissioners, even our newbies, that you know, the set of circumstances that we were dealing with were extraordinary in just about every way. The only way it could have been worse was direct hits, which luckily we were spared from. I will say that what really got me through was several things, and one of them was the five of you. And Mayor, you had referenced that that I'm a fair broker, and I really, as we go through our agenda briefings, we spend a lot of time together. The commissioners and myself, we go through our one-on-one meetings and then our agenda briefings. So we're really, for the most part, meeting once a week individually with each of you. And we have had some discussions. There have been debates in the past, some things that could have occurred that you weren't happy about or whatever it was. But you know, I've always felt very supported by all of you. I've felt that when we've made a mistake, when I've made a mistake, I'm not punished. We decide on on how we're going to correct that course and move on together. And that really is how I'm able to perform well in the community and with the employees and create the culture and those types of things, because I'm not afraid to make decisions. And I think that really, you know, city managers who struggle are those that are afraid to make a decision, because I'm going to make this decision, it's going to make you mad, but not you and you. And so I'm not afraid to make a decision. I'm not afraid to push the organization forward. I'm not afraid to bring you innovative new ideas. And that's because really the five of you, it genuinely is. And I've shared with my fellow city managers many times that I consider myself extremely fortunate to be working with this commission. And Mayor, you had said that you made the motion to hire me, and you're actually the only one in that original commission, right? Commissioner Gao came in the next year. Yeah. Yeah, and then Commissioner Walker and Commissioners Sandbergen and Dugard. So, and I'm fortunate that we've got new commissioners who didn't hire me who are still supportive, because a lot of times, you know, a new commissioner is going to want their own person in the chair. But from day one of those who were not on that original commission, support, again, this is how we're going to work together, and so on and so forth. So I'm very grateful for the five of you. And I want it to be noted out there in the community, if I have my evaluation and my raise, so it's got nothing to do with praising you, so I get a good raise. So nothing to do with that whatsoever. So, you know, I want to move on a little bit to staff as well. You know, Jorge Quintas, you know, as a deputy city manager is just amazing. He really is. I must say, sometimes I catch myself saying, I can't believe you said that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. But just the, you know, the relationship that we have, we bounce things off each other. And you've noticed, if I'm not available or busy, or I just couldn't get to it, or I forgot about it, Jorge's there. And, you know, giving you the information that you need. The department directors, a very talented group of individuals. They really are. And I actually sat down and ran the exercise of who was here when I got here and who, you know, I was able to recruit, promote, and actually it's 3/4 of the department head team I was able to recruit or promote, and the others that are here are exceptional. So, you know, I've been very fortunate to be able to work with this incredibly talented group of people. And I often say that, you know, I'm there to remove obstacles, but sometimes I'm the obstacle, but not really. I never have to be the obstacles. They know what they're doing. They're the subject matter experts, and they're the ones that move the city along. They really are. And, you know, just the employees themselves and how they managed this last storm season and worked together. And they have been, you know, I've just finished my employee communications, as you know, about 21 meetings, going to their workplaces, talking to them, and they talk to me, and they tell me what concerns them. And luckily, we're able to address a lot of those things. But their commitment and their dedication is really exceptional. And the residents see that, given our approval ratings in our resident survey. And our employees are engaged. What is it, 84% align with the mission of the organization, which is, if you don't align with the mission of the organization, then, you know, the organization's not going to move forward. So we'll continue to try to get that, you know, that other 16% to align with the organization. But I'm really grateful for all of them. I really am. And I actually got to a place in my career that I really wanted to be where when any one of them drives past, they beep and wave. And I think that's so important. It really is, because that's the culture we are. That's the community that we are. And the workforce that I really want to be. So, you know, some folks, I mean, Angelica Sanchez is new in our office. She's our new executive office coordinator, and she has done a fantastic job. She really has. And I had to shout out to her. She watches all the meetings. Just kind of getting us in line and support, and a very quiet support, as all of you know. Lindsay's doing a super job with all of you. Nicole has done, you know, with the grants, and, you know, and Camille with the grants and the legislative platform. And I feel, you know, you could have mentioned we're firing on all cylinders now, even after a very rough storm season, knock on wood. So Jennifer Cowan, our attorney, as well. You know, we have a great relationship. She's tough. I mean, she's really tough, and she'll let you know. But I enjoy calling her, and if I have a problem, I enjoy the input. It's never judgmental. It's never, you know, no matter how stupid this question is, I got to ask it, you know. So, and we've had some laughs together as well. You know, Rebecca, I miss her. Michelle's done a fantastic job in her stead. She's got a lot on her plate, and she's done a great job. And Rebecca, I hope you're back soon, and we miss you. So, and last, but certainly not least, not ever least, is the community. And I am passionate about the community. I enjoy working in the community. Some of the, whether or not it's removing debris from a hoarder's household, which Code Compliance set up and did a fantastic job, or it's Operation Push last year, or any of the other millions of things that we all do out in the community, and you all much more than I, as a matter of fact. But, you know, they just, sometimes the community just makes me smile. It really does, in terms of the parades and some of the things that they do, the groups, the witches come, you know, whatever it is. It's just a delightful place to work and to be a city manager. So I'm kind of at a time in my life right now where it's just, this is a dream. It really is. So I thank you very much for that evaluation. Thank you.
So, you know, when you get an Oscar, you don't want to forget to thank your husband. But, you know.
Can I speak to that? I'd like to. Just a moment, Mayor.
Okay, go for it.
Her husband gave a nice presentation yesterday at the Rotary Club of Dunedin. And we learned something very interesting about our manager. We learned, first of all, how she met her husband. Mm-hmm. But we learned, more importantly, her nickname. Oh, yes. Thank you, Batman. I'm glad you asked.
My husband is in deep, deep trouble.
Her nickname was Crash. She was in the service industry in a restaurant, and according to David, her husband, she was notorious for having crashes. So they nicknamed her Crash. And I think we're grateful to have Crash, but we're glad she doesn't have that many accidents these days.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to carry plates anymore.
She has her own vehicle, too, not a city vehicle, so.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. But no.
And now we know that's not going to change because of that, yeah.
Thank you for that. I mean, Dave is, as you know, he's, number one, as involved in the community or more than I am right now. And just amazing support. Just he's been fantastic. We're a team, for sure.
Yeah, head of one of the Rotaries. I know he's doing a lot of stuff with the First Pres. So, yeah, no, I think, and I guess that's when you say, you know, we're just lucky. You know, we've got a team that loves the community. It's, you know, the job is number one, but you love the community. Okay, so we will go to goals, right? Okay. So if you want to just highlight certain goals that you have for Jennifer for next year, I'm going to start this time on Commissioner Walker's side.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so, you know, we've come a long way in the last year with our storm recovery, as we transition from the whole scope of storm recovery, we need to be mindful of the fact that we still have a number of residents out there who are experiencing fairly significant infrastructure issues, and a few of them came and spoke to us tonight. And I will also add to a few of my neighbors and such who have been pretty vocal with regards to essentially broken stormwater main, and there's the aspect that there's going to have to be some stuff upstream that's corrected. But the only thing I would say is that we need to make sure that we're showing the same care and empathy to the individual residents who maybe didn't suffer that, but they do have infrastructure problems, and we need to continue the push on that. With that said, you know, I've already said, I love the fact that we have become more of a force to be reckoned with regards to our legislative agenda, and I think that it's very worth continuing, obviously. You know, some other things that we have coming up, you know, and really this is more just continuing the great work that you have been doing, and that's advancing our hurricane recovery efforts. We still have a lot of work to do in the marina. And we've got some pretty significant development projects coming up with Ocean Optics, Gateway, and, you know, it's going to be important to make sure that those projects have proper oversight. So, but with that said, you know, at the end of the day, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Great. Okay, Commissioner DeGard, goals.
The meat and potatoes goals are pretty apparent, so we won't cover those. We know we've got to balance the budget. We know we have to maintain a great staff. And those things I expect to continue because they've gotten to this point. But I'm thinking a little further out than the next year, even the year after that. You couldn't go past Sunday's paper without looking at the number of communities that are having to raise their levy. Their increase is a new tax. It's a higher tax on their citizens. We may face that as well, because we can see what costs are doing, we can see what it takes to retain employees. I think one of her most important goals is to build us a 5-year plan that will avoid the necessity to raise the taxes on our citizens. It's going to be tough. The math's not there right now. But we've got to figure out how not to raise that levy. The millage has to stay where it is because our citizens are being taxed right now with higher water rates. They're being taxed with higher medical bills. They're on stable incomes. Some will lose their homes in the next year because they just can't make ends meet. And that will be the toughest goal I think she'll face, because I've seen the numbers and it's a hard task to try to figure out. I also think that we have to sensitize ourselves to the community better. She does a great job of relating with the business, the Chamber of Commerce, all the organizations. She's got rapport and she's respected. I'm worried about the median age of our population and the needs of those over that median, which is about 57 years of age. I'm worried about the life they must face. She has partnered, and you will see before this commission soon, a survey that'll help us possibly see into the lives of those citizens. I hope that passes. This is a small lobby for it, but I think we need to look into those lives and see the struggles they've got. And I put that before her as well. The final one, which is probably the hardest as I think about the goals for our city. I don't think our highest point in Dunedin is much above 65 feet above sea level. I know the lowest point is at sea level. I know we'll be facing floods and rains, stormwater, and storm surge in the future. Let's pray it's another 100 years, but I don't think so. Therefore, I think we need to look at a long-range storm mitigation sustainability plan, something that goes 10, 15 years out, because we have to start thinking in increments of time that way. Those are my challenges. Almost all are impossible. But then we've got the greatest city manager in Florida.
Thank you.
That's excellent. And Jennifer, you're not going home tonight, so you got a lot to start working on. Okay.
At least I'm not going to sleep.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, certainly what I put for my comments is the economic outlook and political uncertainty for the next couple of years has to be at the forefront of decision-making. And Commissioner DeGard spoke to a lot of that. Our residents are facing almost insurmountable affordable housing issues. Property insurance is an issue. College debt is an issue. Childcare is an issue. There are the heavy stones that citizens have to carry, at what point do they break? And what can the city do? And what is our concern, right? If our school populations are decreasing because young families can't afford to move here, do we care? If we care, what can we do about it? What's in our skill set and our ability, and what can't we control? How can we mitigate those factors? Sea level rise, climate change, preparing for the 100-year storms that aren't going to be here. So it's all those really, really quality of life. And the events are wonderful, the parades are nice, and we have this surface level facade of things are wonderful in Dunedin, but San Jose has a food pantry. We have Dunedin Cares, which the numbers there are always increasing. Dunedin Elementary has a food pantry. Dunedin Middle School has a food pantry and a clothes pantry. And it just kind of gives you a real indication of where we are as a community. And so it's just the idea of how can we help our residents? How can we do better? And I didn't mention transportation once.
Wow.
Did I?
Well, you just did. But still, we recognize you for that. That's awesome. Okay. Commissioner Sandberg, goals?
There's no question that I'll always be a challenge for you. I love being out in the community. I maybe get paid by the city, but I work for the citizens. I will never stop. I don't care if it's one, I don't care if it's two, I don't care if it's an entire community. And you've picked up on my frustrations. I know you have. I think I said, like I told you, this isn't a job where you get a report card, you get, a participation trophy. And maybe I misunderstand what's expected, but it's kind of either you win or you lose. We set out to do something, and I like to be on the winning side, and I will always stick up for someone that calls Dunedin home. I think that we will all be remembered for this, the recovery and the storm damage, whether it be the marina, whether it be the golf course, which is done, stormwater management. That's how we're all going to be remembered. And we really need you, Jen, to lead us that direction, lead us to where we need to be. I told you that, the first day I met you, and you said something to the effect of, I don't hold grudges. And I didn't get what that meant. And then, 8 months, 10 months, whatever into it, I do understand what that means. And, I said, I count on you to show me the right direction, show me the right answer. And, I've been doing it like 35 weeks, and you've been doing it for 35 years or something like that. I was put a calculator to it. And we're not going to, when somebody says, I would live in Dunedin, but I can't afford to, goes along with our housing. I don't think there's any place in this country that I would rather call home. I've called it home for 44 years, and I'm glad to be part of this commission. And I just want you to continue the leadership. You're very unflappable, and I told you one day, I can't tell if I don't know when you're mad. And I'm sure you have days that you are, but you wear it well. You wear it well in front of the staff, in front of the public, and we're going to be remembered by how we do in the next year, the next 18 months of the storm recovery. Citizens expect a lot out of us. We've been getting emails sitting up here tonight, about what people expect out of us, and I'm glad you're our leader, and I don't want anything to really change going forward, other than to continue on that path that we're on. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have to say that even when we were in the Wine Olympics at Sterling, our coach was Commissioner Sandbergen, but our leader was Jennifer Bramley. Okay, you take this one and you take this competition. Anyway, well, number one, I'm just going to kind of go through a couple of the key ones for me. Continue to prioritize Dunedin's infrastructure needs along with resiliency and sustainability. I often talk about, the crisis of the 90s with water and wastewater plants having to be rebuilt, issues of the pipes under the ground, of course, stormwater. We didn't have a stormwater fee back then, and we've evolved there. And so the infrastructure is so key. And being somebody who lived through that crisis and knowing, like, you can't have a quality of life community if you don't protect your infrastructure. And so I think that, when we look at resiliency and sustainability and the importance of that, which is why I love the grant people, because I think, with Camille and with Nicole, like, those are some areas where you can get grants, and that's going to help us get more bang for the buck for our citizens. So I just think we got to keep pounding that drum and keep doing it. I think, Commissioner Walker talking about, just the recovery. I think as we move through it too, I'm in one of the neighborhoods that got flooded, so I see it every day. But all those neighborhoods that have been flooded are evolving in very, some people are back, some people aren't back. Again, house 2 doors on the same side of the street as me is ready to be lifted, and it's just, piles of dirt right now, but they've got it pretty well structured to be ready to lift. And I think that as somebody, again, who experienced it, one of the things that I think would be really helpful to our citizens, hopefully we're never, knock on wood, we're not going to get a storm like that for another 100 years. But the biggest thing is, like, okay, if it happens to you, like, what do you do? What does raising your house look like, right? What does rebuilding your house look like? Because, again, I think otherwise you have people in crisis who let me just try to get it back to what it was. I don't know what to do. So I just think, and I know that, Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council and some of those groups are working on those kinds of things, where, how do we get people to understand what the options are, and start to think about it before another crisis hits. So, and I think, and I'd love to know, and I don't even know if we could do this, but I'd love to get a sense in those key neighborhoods that were flooded. But what did we have, 1,500 substantially damaged homes? How many are actually back in their homes? How many aren't? What's going on in the neighborhoods, just to get a little bit of an inventory. Because I can tell you, my neighborhood's like a mixed bag. I would be shocked if, 2/3 of people are back in their homes, because, the houses are transitioning. Some are still going to be torn down. Some have been torn down, and the property is vacant. So I just think, again, keeping a handle on that so that long-term recovery doesn't escape us, that people are still living it every day. And I try to tell this to people that, when I look and see the damage at the pier, I know it's right there in front of us. I wish it could be cleared off, but it's a lot more money to clear it off than come back later and redo it. And I just say, our neighborhoods are transitioning too. That's just way more visible. And we wish we could, but we're doing the best we can. So I had completion of the marina and pier, obviously, as fast as we can do it. And I think, obviously, the big one, we've got the second public hearing of the budget, and we know that, that deep dive, starts as soon as we finish that second public hearing, to make sure, as Commissioner Dugard said, we're thinking long-term about how we can really make sure we maintain that millage rate. That's going to be, and we've got the big the the development projects, those are always stressful. You know, I mean, right now, I always have said Douglas and Maine is always going to be the most stressful because it's in such a prime spot for the city that no matter what we do, it's going to be hard to get it right, but we got to try. Obviously, for my passion, final design and approval of the city pool, the adoption of the revised historic preservation ordinance, completion of Old City Hall Park, all those things are important. But again, I agree. Keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing a great job. There's a lot to do, and the key to that is having good people and letting them do the work that they're good at. So, thank you. So those are some of my highlights. Okay. Any final comments? Or you want to give us your timeline on when you're going to get all that done? Or I just kidding. Okay.
Got at least a year.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. We're going to move on then. Okay. Did we need a roll call vote for her raise, or I don't?
It's your call, Mayor.
Okay. I mean, I didn't do a roll call vote. I think I did a voicemail or voice vote. So I think we're good, right? We don't have to do a roll call for that. Okay. So we're going to go to proposed agenda for the October 9, 2025 commission meeting. Anybody have any additions or changes?
Yeah, that's under city manager's comments.
Yeah. Okay, so we just need to approve the agenda. So any additions or deletions to the proposed agenda for October 9th?
Yeah, I've got, and I don't know if it's going to be for this upcoming October 9th one, but I do want to get an update on where we stand with some of the recovery efforts at North Douglas. I was out there a couple of days ago, and there's some areas there that there needs to be some attention paid to, and looks to me in some cases where it might just be going in and cleaning debris. I don't know what the right answer is, but yeah, I'd like to just get an update on where we stand with North Douglas.
Jennifer,
So could we do that on October 7th?
workshop?
So workshop, yeah.
We're going to have the county here for the causeway, right? October 7th? Okay, good. So we'll have that too.
Yeah, I think that we could probably bring that up under informational.
So I don't want to make this bigger than you can handle, but like, would you be able to give us an update on all the storm-affected areas? You know, Baywood Shores,
That
North
might be
Douglas? Is that too much? Okay.
Let me talk to staff if I may, Mayor,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
bring you whatever we can.
Okay, yeah, do whatever you can, and then, you know, the rest we can put on something later to give you more time. Okay, so as far as this particular agenda, can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Walker and Gow, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, so we're going to go to informational items, commission discussion and comments. Do we want to do you first, Jennifer? I think we should do you first.
I think there's some folks in the audience that would appreciate
Yeah, I mean, everybody okay with jumping to her update because, and then we can do our comments last, or?
And the chamber goes wild.
Yeah, they are excited now. Okay. Okay, so Jennifer, I'll let you just kind of run through the items.
Sure. So under city manager's update, I can go ahead and start with the Mardi Gras,
Okay?
if that's okay with you. And so
Oh, no, let's do the other ones first. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
Jory is going to come up and help us out with this.
good.
As you know, in July, there was a proposal submitted to the city commission, and I was also provided with a copy of that proposal regarding Mardi Gras. And the proposal was essentially that the city assume or absorb Mardi Gras in the Mardi Gras event, and the proposal had discussed, if you will, that it would be on a Saturday parade. And I had, after that, you know, members of the commission asked, you know, when we're going to move forward, that the chamber needs to know, you know, what's going on. And so I committed to reviewing that proposal and doing analysis of that proposal. And actually, we have not done that. The proposal is of record. You know, and the items within the proposal, the informational items are, you know, there's some items in there that I don't necessarily agree with. But that said, I don't want to pick apart that proposal. It was obviously very well researched. But what I did do was sit down with our new Director of Parks and Recreation, Tony Mulkey, and with Jory, and with all of you separately as well, just to discuss Mardi Gras. And what we really came off with was, number one, the importance of Mardi Gras in the community. It's taken 30 years for DDMA to bring it along to where it is now. And now we actually did some research. There are only 2 Mardi Gras parades in the state of Florida, actually. One's in Pensacola and one's in Dunedin, which is, pretty exceptional when you think about that. And then through the years, the community, all of the groups working together and the small businesses have built it up and built it up and built it up to what it is today. And so that was the number one takeaway from that, was that we need a Mardi Gras parade. We need a Mardi Gras event. And so in further evaluating Mardi Gras and the request for a afternoon parade on a Saturday, I asked staff to do a deep dive into how much a parade would cost and provide some options for the City Commission to consider, and then we do have a recommendation for all of you, and we're looking for consensus direction from all of you moving forward. And so we did attach for you, let me just get to the City Manager's update here. The 3 options that were, it's under Supplement G 2026 Mardi Gras City Partnership Proposal Exhibit B. So we're proposing a parade on Tuesday, February 17th from 5 to 10 p.m. And the reason why is because, first of all, that Saturday before Mardi Gras would be Valentine's Day. And, Valentine's Day, I think the businesses, certainly the restaurants and so on and so forth, and the bars probably, they have a captive audience on Valentine's Day, so they're going to do well on that day regardless. You put a parade on top of that, and that, all those customers, it's all at one time. I think it might be better for them to spread it out. And then the other thing is, on February 17th, staff felt very strongly, and Jory can speak to this, that, having staged or had a front seat to staging the parade, that really, the Saturday parades weren't quite as populated, if you will, as the Fat Tuesday parades. The Saturday parades, it tends to, and we did talk to the Sheriff's Office about this as well, because it is an evening parade, people tend to come and drink all day long, have the parade, stay well into the night, and it gets a little bit more unwieldy than it does on a Tuesday, where they work and then they come to the Fat Tuesday, populate the parade and then go home. So I actually talked to Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Captain Harvey, and Lieutenant Scarpati, I think I said that right, and they would prefer a Fat Tuesday parade, from a public safety perspective, because you're decreasing the hours. And the other part of it is that that's really kind of what we're known for, is that Fat Tuesday parade as part of the Mardi Gras celebration. Did I hit all the points, Jory? Yeah. So in listening to staff and understanding what their points were, I think I agree. We're going to recommend that we do a parade on Tuesday night, Fat Tuesday. So the other part of it is who does what, right? So the first option that we're putting before all of you is the option to a partnership with the city taking all the logistics for the Mardi Gras parade, including registration, staging, execution, as well as providing in-kind services for the Main Street closure. And then we also provided, as in the last page, how much that would cost. So it's probably about $34,000 for the City Commission. The Chamber of Commerce proposal is about $29,000, and we added some. I mean, there are hard costs that the city incurs: the light towers, the porta potties, the overtime for all of our staff as well. We don't just absorb that; we have to pay it, and it is not budgeted. So typically we're paid by the promoter for that staff overtime, so that would come out of the city coffers. That said, staff is not supportive of assuming the entire parade and the street festival as well. And the reason for that, as I've put in my staffing report, my attachment, is that we really don't stage a street festival of that type. We do old-fashioned Christmas, we do trick-or-treating, the downtown trick-or-treating, but we don't do, street event with food, alcohol, music, and those types of things. And so we are recommending Proposal 1, where we take on the parade and all the logistics of the parade, and that the Chamber of Commerce take on the street festival. And I'm gonna jump forward to option number 3, if I may. And option number 3 is that we do the parade with no street festival. And we're recommending that if that's the case, then we have no parade either, because we feel that in that scenario, people are going to, if they were come to a parade without a street festival, they're anticipating all of the entertainment around there. So the problem is we're going to finish the parade, and then what next? Where do we go? We go, okay, you go to the restaurants, the bars, the breweries, and so on and so forth, but it's not, either we do it really well and do the whole thing, or not at all. So, that's staff's recommendation. I think that those who are attending will really feel the half of an effort, if that's the scenario. So proposal number 2 is that the Chamber of Commerce be the promoters, and we would offer in-kind services, for the parade and the festival itself. And by in-kind, I mean we supported the promoters, and they assume the financial burden and so on and so forth. And we would provide some in-kind for the parade itself to keep those costs down to make it successful. So proposal number 1, the city does the parade for a cost of $35,000. Tony and Jory remind us that there are still, production costs that are hard costs for the city as far as staff time goes. We're also recommending that this is a one-time street parade for the community, for the small businesses, and hopefully we can help the chamber, who has absorbed EDMA, to get on their feet for next year to stage that parade and the event itself. So again, our recommendation is very simple. The city will put on the parade. The chamber does a street festival. We would like it on Fat Tuesday. We would like it to be a one-time authorization, if you will, from the City Commission to put on the parade. Lastly, I have spoken with staff, and staff is, although this is a lift for us, and it is somewhat in a different direction than we were anticipating, we can do it. Jory can do it. Danielle, can do it, but under Jory's lead. So, I have spoken to the chamber, to Jeanette Donahue, and I won't, they're going to have their own opinion. I'm not going to, commit them to anything here. We did give it very careful consideration. I think this partnership will work. I'd like the opportunity to work with the chamber in this avenue to make Mardi Gras very successful this year. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Okay, go to questions now? Okay, so questions for Jory or the city manager. I'll start with Commissioner Walker.
I'm not sure I have any, well, maybe I do. And maybe it's for the chamber, actually. Is that an option? Sure. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're going to do public input. You want to just wait till they come up?
I'll wait
or?
for the,
Yeah.
I'll wait for public input
Yeah.
then, okay. I don't have any questions. I've looked at this pretty thoroughly, and it's more of just, well, I'll save it. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner DeGard.
Thank you.
Questions?
Questions. I think I'm sitting exactly where my colleague, Commissioner Walker, is, because I keep wanting to ask myself how we got here. And I don't think that's a conversation that the mayor necessarily, or a question the mayor can necessarily answer. I'm going to speak candidly here. I feel like this has been handed to the city without fair warning. I get that everybody's looking at costs and what they can manage, but we're looking at a $34,000 cost. That's $1 per head in the city, about it, pretty close to it. And I'm not questioning the value of the event. I support the event and want to see it continue. But it would have been nice to know we were going to have this problem 6 months ago.
Is there a question?
That lack of foresight.
Is there a question coming?
Yeah.
You'll get a chance for final
How come we
comments.
didn't know 6 months ago
Right,
that
I
this
gotcha.
was going to be our
Okay,
issue?
and there's the question. Yep. Any other question? Okay. Yeah, well, we know who's going to answer it out there, I guess. Okay, Vice Mayor, questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Sandbergen, questions?
Has the money been budgeted?
No.
So the next question is, where will the money come from?
Well, we have a number of different areas that we could take it out of reserve. Our reserve is healthy coming in to 2026. We're at about 29% at this point after we get it all is said and done for your adoption hearing. So it would come out of reserves. We have carry forward from this year as far as reserves go too. So it is not budgeted. It is something that we can easily absorb though.
I wouldn't use the term easily, so since we've just finished our budget or soon to finish it, I don't think I'd use the word easily absorb it. I mean, we got a lot of pressure on us with that budget, so. Yeah, so, Jory, my question for you is, if in fact you do the parade, do you, as busy and as crazy as all the other events are, do you really feel like you and Danielle can do it?
So I feel taking on a large-scale event for Danielle and I, while also coordinating all of the other events that we have, we would definitely need to sit down with Tony and Jocelyn and get a team together with Recreation and put a committee together. We will need extra staff to help us with the coordination of the parade. Because Danielle and I lead and do the logistics.
Meaning
part of it.
staff that would come from within the recreation to help,
Recreation,
right?
Parks and Recreation, we would have to get a committee together within our department
Gotcha.
to help us.
But you feel it is doable if,
I do.
okay, I don't really have any other questions right now, so we'll open it to public input. Does anyone in the audience wish to come forward and speak to this issue? Okay, Greg?
Hi, Gregory
Just out of
Brady.
curiosity, are you going to be the main speaker for the chamber, or is everybody? Okay, so question.
Gregory Brady. I am the current past chair of the Chamber of Commerce Board. You know, to start with, we didn't know either. We did not have the opportunity to look into anybody's books or anything. We did see that the events were just bleeding. They were just losing money. And that, you know, I started this event with a small group of people, and over the years, when I did this event with that small group of people in the DDMA, sponsorship was key. And, you know, given the fact that we don't have the time to do the event that's coming up that was going to be canceled, Dunedin Wines the Blues, and Mardi Gras right behind it, you know, we had to pivot quite a bit ourselves, and it was not something we had planned on from a financial standpoint. You know, there's no money from that organization to help us with this event, so we are going to have to find the money also. But I can tell you that Dunedin Wines the Blues is just something that we have decided has to happen. And it's not Mardi Gras, but the reason I bring it up is because of the spirit of the community and how they've come forward. Our breweries, our wine stores donating all the product, coming to the table for the community. We heard when Dunedin Wines and Blues was going to be canceled 2 years ago, the outpouring of why this event needed to happen. And the same thing is true with Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras and Wines the Blues were both done in the downtown at a time when there was no customers. You did not have all these people walking around the streets from Thursday to Sunday in the masses that they are today. It was done purely for promotion off the backs of the business community. And now that same business community is giving back. And they are saying, we will donate all the craft beer, we will donate all the wine, we will open up our businesses, we will hire bands, we will do whatever it is that we need to do to have this event. I think you're going to find the same thing is true with Mardi Gras. It's going to take a lot of grit, determination, and people out there beating the streets to make money for the event to happen. Because to say that the business community doesn't have the money to support this event, or Mardi Gras. That is true. in a lot of senses. They don't have $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 to be title sponsors. That's why I always went outside of Dunedin, and I got the Furman brand, and I got Duke Energy, and I got the different larger brands that we will have to rely on. But we do have brands in the city that support this event, Wines and Blues and Mardi Gras, like Achieva, like the Blue Jays, the different larger organizations here. And we have a stellar staff at the Chamber of Commerce that is willing to work on it and willing to execute this. You know, Jeanette Donahue was our events director and now our interim president. And, you know, I asked Jeanette frankly, I said, can you pull off Wines the Blues? Without hesitation, she said she could, with the staff that she has, the board that she has, and all of the support, and the support of the city. Can you pull off Mardi Gras? If it lands in our lap and we have to do it, we'll find a way. Not no, not let me think about it, but we'll find a way. And I believe that these events, all events in the city that are happening, and the reason I bring up the fact that these are promotional events, we have other corridors that really need time and attention and focus. So one of the things that we came up with for Wines the Blues was, let's not have sausage and pepper vendors come from Texas and Tampa and all over. Let's use our own restaurants. Let's use our own retail stores. Let's let them come out and promote their businesses and make money at the same time, because this has been a really hard summer for the business community. So I think as the Chamber of Commerce, we have an obligation to our business community, all corridors, not just downtown. So it's time to invite them in to participate, set up their tents and their tables, let us taste their food, buy their products, and at the same time promote the city. Because as much as we don't think we need to continue marketing, because we are very well known and very well visited, it's only until the next flavor of the month comes along. So we have to keep ourselves top of mind. We're a tourism-driven town. A lot of people come here for our festivals, and we need to do it. And the Chamber is willing to roll up our sleeves and do it, and we applaud the city's effort in partnering with us, because it really does take a partnership. And that's how these events started, and that's how they need to move forward. And it really is the only way that they can move forward, is by a partnership with the city and the Chamber to do it. And I think focusing on our business community at the same time is key.
Well, so questions for Greg, and I know you had one, Commissioner Walker.
Actually,
Do you want to put the spotlight up on here? No.
Oh, you answered my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner DeGard, questions for Greg?
No questions, thank you.
Vice Mayor? Commissioner Sandbergen?
So I know you talked about the restaurants, the shops. Have you approached them, or has the Chamber approached them that they would be on board with that?
So far, yesterday at the first meeting, we had all the breweries, the wine shops, restaurant that is positioned to possibly do the VIP. And we were really surprised at their involvement and how, you know, if anything from, you know, we got in trouble several years ago because we used Great Bay as our distributor. And the breweries were just beside themselves. They have created a way to supply the equipment, the beer, the help that we need to serve it, and everything. And when we started talking about restaurants, one of the things we noticed as a business community for these events was a ton of outside food vendors and food trucks, and they didn't make any money either. There were too many of them. And when I started working on Mardi Gras in 1990-91, it was the restaurants that served the food. It wasn't outside vendors. And when we've just taken the temperature of a few businesses outside of the core, they would gladly come in and enjoy the success that businesses that live in the downtown have on a daily basis. Because it not only allows them to make money, but it allows them to promote their brand and to tell that customer where Cricketers is and where the Prohibition is. Because a lot of people come to Dunedin, they come to downtown, they don't see what's outside in the city, and I think it's our job to make sure that we promote them, and they're really encouraged by this. All the committees that we are doing at the Chamber and all of the discussions that we're having, we are constantly inviting our members from outside the corridor. And, you know, when I was speaking to Commissioner Dugard, we talked about celebrating those other corridors, but not only doing it, but allowing people to know that that is what our focus is. Because we're doing it in our ribbon cuttings, we're scheduling our business after hours outside in the other corridors, and we intend to also do that with these events. Let's make these events work the way they're supposed to work and promote the city in a positive light. And the other thing we're doing is what the reflection I got from talking with the commissioners is also making it more family friendly. Wines the Blues will not be going on till 11 o'clock at night. It'll close at 8. It'll open at 12 o'clock so that the retail stores can enjoy some of the business and there's stuff to do during the day. And then it closes at 8 o'clock. And if everybody wants to go out drinking, they can go into our establishments to do so. It takes a little bit of the heat off of us. It makes it a safer environment, a safer event, and it's a little bit more of what the Chamber stands for.
Good, that's exactly the conversation you and I had, so that's all I needed. Thanks.
Okay, I don't actually have any more questions. I guess, well, I'll ask this to the city manager. Has the discussion been had with the, well, I guess, why don't you have a seat? I should at least ask. Does anybody else in the audience wish to come forward and speak on this issue?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, see. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the 3-minute rule. So name, address, and 3-minute rule. Yep.
Hi, Jeanette Donahue with the Chamber. I just want to say that we would really greatly like your support this year. Again, we were this is put on us kind of last second. And as you know, I was just told last week, hey, can you do Wines and Blues, which is in 8 weeks. And for anyone that knows festivals, it takes more than 8 weeks. But that's why I called all the breweries. We got them all together, and everyone's so excited. I've gotten positive emails, people helping other people, Dunedin Brewery offering their equipment to the other breweries. So, I mean, it's just been really great. So I think bringing back our grassroots and taking it slower, and if you guys can just help us out this first year. I've worked with Jory for many years, and I know that the two of us can pull this off together. If we can get your help on the parade side, I know that I can do the street festival. That's all I wanted to say.
Great.
And if anyone have questions for me?
Any questions?
For me?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think we're good. And anybody else wish to come forward and speak on this issue? Okay, seeing no one. So my question was, and I think Jeanette probably answered a little bit, you've had discussions that if the commission is, if this is acceptable, option 1 for the commission, that they embrace it and will do their part.
That's correct.
Okay.
So if we do get
Am I
consensus,
seeing shaking heads out there? Okay, good.
so if we do get consensus direction from the city commission, then we will reach out to the chamber and start coordinating this event.
Okay, so you want well, we'll take a
Consensus direction?
motion, I think,
A
on
motion,
this.
that's fine.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should take a motion. So do I have a motion? And, not
I'd like to
suggesting what that should be, but,
All right, I'd like to make a motion that the city commission accept proposal 1 as presented.
okay,
I second that.
okay, so. Okay, so we will go to final comments. And now, starting with the maker of the motion, Commissioner Sandberg.
I have perfect attendance every year attending the Mardi Gras. I'm not sure that's really, not sure that came out right, but it's I would hate to lose it because next year I'd hate to sit here and try to figure out how we're going to bring it back. I appreciate Jeanette and Greg and the whole staff, stepping up and let's keep this thing going. It's been going on for years, and I fully support it. And I'm glad that they came forward tonight to help us out.
Great, okay, thank you. And seconder of the motion, final comments, Commissioner Walker.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I mean, you take a look at last year and then fast forward, to the whole last year. the storm recovery, and then the assumption of DDMA and everything associated with it. I think this is absolutely the right thing to do, and my cut on this is that we have some signature events here in the great city of Dunedin, and we have become known for that. And actually, I saw something, and I think this needs to be fact-checked, but we might have one of the top 5 biggest Mardi Gras celebrations in the United States. The Pensacola, Mobile, ourselves, obviously New Orleans, and I know there's another Savannah. So anyway, just check that out. I don't want to make stuff up, but anyway, I think. Yeah, I set myself up for that. But anyway, no, I'm in favor of it, and anyway, thank you.
Okay, final comments, Commissioner DeGard.
Thank you, Mayor. There is no questioning the value of Mardi Gras. It is an event that many of our citizens look forward to. It has brought a lot of excitement and notoriety to the community, and I presume it has brought benefit to our businesses. My hesitation with this particular action is twofold. Number one, the cost to the city. We can nickel and dime ourselves into a deficit situation. Our job as commissioners is to make sure with the manager that does not happen. But this is not a small ticket item. Secondly, somebody dropped the ball. I don't think we want to talk about who dropped the ball, but somebody dropped the ball. We could have seen this coming and planned for it better and maybe found some remedies. I can't excuse that. And I don't know exactly who to have that conversation with. But given the fact that if we were to start from scratch and want to build a Mardi Gras, it'd cost us $35,000, $40,000. So let's use that money to maintain it, and that's where I am. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor, final comments.
Well, at least we do know that we have the best Mardi Gras in the state, right? Because we'll take on Pensacola anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. I don't think I'm alone, and I've heard the tone on the commission. I think we're all kind of frustrated at how it came before us. I do agree with Commissioner DeGard. Yeah, it should have and could have been seen earlier. And I feel like this has kind of been shoved at us a little bit. But I am a big fan of the Mardi Gras, and it's not just for the festival aspect, but how it originated and why it originated, and the fact that this is a signature event that really was part of the rebirth of our downtown, and the merchants that just embraced it and put their heart and soul into it cannot be ignored. And so, at a time when we're under budget constraints and concerned about the outlook, this is a very big bite at the apple. But it's for 1 year. And what I mean by 1 year is like, let's do this, let's get it behind us, but let's take a serious look at the successes and failures and how we can make it work is fine, because this is just a wonderful event, especially since it is back to Fat Tuesday, which is where it should belong. And so anyway, so I am in favor of the proposal number 1. Well, I'll start by saying this isn't easy money to get to, because it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? You can, yes, we have money in the reserves, but we also know that we look like, we've got some work to do to avoid
the tax millage increase as we go forward, and we need to do that for our citizens. And I'll just say, I don't want to break my foot on the ninth hurdle.
On the what?
The ninth hurdle.
Oh, right.
Remember my analogy? I don't want to break my foot on the ninth hurdle when I can't stretch my legs anymore because I just can't. And all of a sudden, we're broken. So I leave that to you. You got the glowing review today, and we'll trust you on that. But that being said, I mean, I'll date myself by saying I was here for the first Mardi Gras, which was what year? 91. And, yeah. And honestly, I didn't even know, is this really Dunedin when the first one happened? Because I came here mid-'80s from Kent, Ohio, Kent State University. Same population almost, but half college kids in Kent, Ohio, and very retirement-oriented here, very. And I thought, man, I don't think I'm going to stay in Dunedin. It's just not enough happening. And then all of a sudden, I'm standing in the middle of the street at the first Mardi Gras. And I'm like, whoa, this is, wow. Yeah, now I'm the mayor, whoa. And I am not going to be the mayor that does away with the Mardi Gras, for God's sakes. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, so I think the Mardi Gras really is, Wines and Blues is great, but Mardi Gras is the real signature event. And I appreciate the commentary about getting it thrown at us, and I don't disagree with some of that. I also do think that, DDMA was in dire straits. You guys stepped in, merged with it, took it over, and you had to figure it out. And I think that's what makes the manager's recommendation really appropriate, that we help in this transition. We help. And to keep something that's really been important to our community. It might have been one of the reasons I stayed in Dunedin, because it's like, come on, it's too boring here. And now it's just not boring, but it's still important. Like you say, you have to kind of keep top of mind. I mean, I just think and our citizens love it. I mean, you just have to look at the surveys. And our own citizens love all the special events. It's just one of the things that brings them here, and they want to come here, and they want to move here. So I'm supportive of this. I'm glad how it landed. Jory, I appreciate you and Danielle especially being willing to take it on, because it is a lot. You have a lot on your plate. But you guys are great, but I appreciate your positiveness on this. And I'm in favor of it also. So I think we have a motion. Do we have a motion? Yeah, we have a motion. And we have a second, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And any opposed? Okay, and the motion passes unanimously. Great. And because I think it was Commissioner Sandberg, and you were the maker, and you were the seconder. Okay, good. And someday we'll get our boat parade back too, next year, big boat parade.
Mayor, I do have a question.
Okay, hold on, we have one question, so make sure it's for you guys.
Yeah, and I can't remember, and I know it was probably in the staffing that you all provided, but Visit St. Pete Clearwater, they were able to give funds? And are they willing to give funds to municipalities for the same event?
So, yes, I wrote the grant this year.
Can you come up, Jeanette? Because with people that are watching it, probably the 37,000 people that are watching it right now, they can't hear if you're talking back there.
Yes, I actually am the one that wrote the grant this year for Visit St. Pete Clearwater, and they did give us, they're going to give us $25,000, and we did talk about how we have to have 10% of it has to go towards, or 70%, sorry, has to go towards advertising, and then 30% goes towards the event. So yes, that's how we would do it. So on our side, we would do the marketing.
Okay, and so you wrote the grant under the chamber's name, and so is there some partnership with the city?
Yes, I think that's what we would do.
Okay.
And
all
of
right.
course, we'll work out whatever we feel is fair.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're down from 34,000 to 30, so.
There you go.
Very good.
And you did that right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you. Okay, and we're going to move on, but thank you all for being here. And if you want to stay, you may. I mean, feel free. Jory, if you want to stay, you can. Don't run, right? Okay. Okay, we'll go back to city manager's update, because I know you have a few more items for us.
Yeah, just very quickly, Mayor. Just two grants here. You recall that you adopted a grant-seeking policy. And these two grants do not require city commission approval in order to submit them, but we did commit to you that we would put them under city manager's update and let you know. One is San Charles drainage improvements for $150,000. San Charles San Roy drainage improvements, and our match is $150,000. It is already budgeted, and there's additional planning funding for Resilient Florida. It's a vulnerability assessment. The total for that is $45,000. The match is $22,500, and we also have that in the stormwater fund, not budgeted, but we can I won't say easily absorb that because I got in trouble earlier, but we can absorb that. So I just wanted to call those two grants to your attention. And then the last thing is just a city manager's update.
Okay, so that's just for information, right?
Yes,
Okay,
information
and so does anyone have any questions about the other items or anything on the city manager's update report?
One, regarding the Mardi Gras, are we going to enter into a formal agreement with the chamber on this? Is this the way this goes? What's the next step, I guess, is my question.
Well, that's a good question. I hadn't planned on entering into a formal agreement with them. We'd have to look at that if there is
At least an
funding
MOU.
to exchanging, yeah.
Yeah,
I
at
think
least
that
an
that's
MOU would
actually a
be-
good idea to draft something up, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, just an even letter of intent. Any other questions? Commissioner Sandbergen looks like he's got something.
Well, we're talking about what Jennifer's presentation. We're going to come back to commission comments, right, and questions?
yeah.
Okay, I'm fine. I'll wait.
Okay, good. Okay, so any other questions for Jennifer? Okay, so I'm going to just do all and leave us for last. So city clerk update? There you go, okay.
Yay.
Thank you for that. We love you, girl. Okay, city attorney update.
No update.
Okay, well, we love you too, so you guys get the prizes at the end tonight. Okay, and now we'll go to commission discussion comments. And I will start with Vice Mayor. I didn't mean to write on your shirt.
It's all right. Attended a high school band booster meeting last night, and there have been some tumultuous years over the last couple, but there is amazing new growth in focus and passion and vision, and so it's wonderful. Because we've all heard that, right, populations are decreasing and schools are getting smaller, and we need to keep our performing arts alive in Dunedin. Okay. Also, it is Clan McPherson Days coming up, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. And right, you have a personal invite to the dinner on the 25th. I do recognize that it's also Halloween happenings, but the calendar fell where it did. So at some point, I'd like to get some sort of confirmation on whether you're attending or not, because there is a menu choice on what you would like to eat. And so what I might do is coordinate through Lindsay.
Is haggis one of them?
Haggis is not one of them. Well, but we can make that happen.
What date?
It is October 25th. It is in your calendar already. It's dinner at 7, cocktails at 6, I believe. And they are staying, and for them, the idea is they're staying at the Holiday Inn, and they will parade to Bon Appetit down the trail, and they will stop at, they want to get a picture of the Klan in Pioneer Park. And if you go to the website, they have the last gathering they did, they have a picture, and it's quite proud, you know, to see Dunedin there, and the high school pipe band played for them, and so they're front and center in it, and it just drips of Dunedin. It's wonderful. They've asked for stage time at Pioneer Park. We cannot give that to them because it's Halloween happenings, and we just don't know what's going to be going on. But they are going to go with the hopes of, if all that we need is 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, and get on the stage and get that picture taken, and then they will parade down to the water. And so that's their Friday night, but they have events scheduled for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll reach out and see how you guys feel.
Lindsay coordinates that because I don't see it on my calendar.
I know it's on mine. I
It is.
saw it there.
Okay, it's not on yours? Okay.
But maybe,
My wife.
thank God for Claudia.
Wonderful, wonderful. And there will be a proclamation read on the 23rd, that Thursday night.
I'm assuming the attire is best kilt.
Yes, oh, absolutely. If you got them, wear them. Yes, indeedy. But not required, right? So if you don't have a kilt, you're still heavily requested, invited. So we hope everybody attends. October 9th is going to be a fun night here at City Hall, so dress appropriately. And that's all that I have.
Yeah, kilts, right? Kilts,
Third,
October 9th.
9th? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, kilts,
To the 9th.
required.
What is special about October 9th? I mean, I know it's on the agenda, but.
We'll have Lindsay check in with you.
Okay.
We're just honoring the pipe bands and.
Got it, okay. I had something, but I won't bring it up to everybody else. It was about some cleaning of storm debris in Jerry Lake, the Jerry Lake branch. I think it was something in the response from someone in Public Works that was an item we were going to vote on maybe tonight, or it was going to come up during the workshop. There was some, Jen, do you have any idea what I'm talking about? 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't.
I do. And
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a grant that we're getting that's going to be before the city commission.
Okay, because the person that contacted me since I've been up here tonight, isn't a Dunedin resident, lives in unincorporated Dunedin, but is that Jerry Lake? Is that the city's, is that our
Yes.
issue to clean?
It is, we purchased it
Okay.
as part of the Gladys Douglas acquisition. So
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly, in the unincorporated side, there is a weir.
That weir is there, yeah.
Yeah, are they talking about the weir?
I'll find out, because it's been, there was a response from, I believe, Jorge and
Yes.
Public Works, but
Yeah.
after that was on the agenda, it fell off. I'll forward it again, just so that I have an answer for the guy, so.
Okay.
That's all, Mayor.
That's great. Okay, Commissioner Walker.
Well, my commission update, I brought guest speakers in earlier today to give my update for PSTA. Dunedin History Museum, they're putting on a new series. It's called Mix and Mingle. And I have to say that they're getting some awesome speakers. I know more about sustainable farming right now than I have ever thought I would. And you know what? It's absolutely fantastic. That's all I've got.
Commissioner DeGard.
How do you follow that? I was there last night, too. I couldn't.
Well, I was going to thank you for coming.
Well, it was a wonderful event, and I'm planning to attend future ones. Just as a point on the calendar, and I know you guys have just tons of room on your calendars, Island Fest at Honeymoon Island will be on October 11th and 12th. General public is welcome. The island is looking good. More bathrooms are opening daily. So they've done a yeoman's job out there of getting the island back up and running. And the Island Fest is sponsored by Friends of the Island Parks, of which my colleague to my right is also on their board. Just wanted to make sure that got on everybody's calendars. I am still hearing from residents on substantial damage letters. I will want to meet with you regarding that because there's still some confusion out there on what they really mean, and is this something that's going to go on permanent record, that kind of thing. I'm meeting with a citizen in the next week, well, actually tomorrow afternoon, about that condition on Myra Vista. I was advised that some of our friends on Douglas are concerned about some things, and we're going to see them soon. So just everybody keep that up, and we can appreciate that they're keenly interested. I did happen to traverse Douglas Avenue this morning, and there was no water on properties, but there was water in the street, and it was sunny, and there hadn't been any rain, so I presumed that was a high tide situation. But we're going to be hearing more on that. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Tom, can you make sure the island days are on our calendars? Can you work with Lindsay?
I'll see what that happens.
Yeah, okay.
So, as somebody that got a substantial damage letter, and it's not our City of Dunedin's requirement, I still think those are the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, but anyway, and you're absolutely right. It just, if anything, it's just added to, talk about something that added to confusion. Those letters just added to confusion, but anyway, it's got to be a better way. I'm supposed to announce that the Dunedin Showcase Theater is going to be performing Almost Maine, and show times are October 3rd and 4th at 7:30 p.m. and October 5th at 3. Tickets are $20, and it'll be at the community center. So if anybody can do that, that's, you know, they always do a great job, so I wanted to promote them. And then DCO is tomorrow, and yeah, yes, they've asked me to speak. I'll try to do well for all of us. Anybody, who's going? Okay, good. Oh, this is awesome. Good. All right, and then the other thing I was just going to say is that Monday night, at the same time that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kicked off at 7, I was asked to speak to the Dunedin Boat Club. It was a full house, standing room only, in the Elliott Room of Community Center, and people had an opportunity to ask questions, and, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, kind of the agreement we have signed, even though we have anything final, I know we have to negotiate. But it was a good meeting. I know Commissioner Walker was there. I felt good about it. I think, you know, we've got a lot of enthusiasm in the room to really try to move things forward. So I just wanted to say that, and I, you know, obviously spoke in a lot of ways on all of our behalf, so that we will continue to do whatever we can. I did tell them our capital budget is maxed out, so, but you know, we will continue to be as supportive as we can be. So anyway, that's it. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Okay, meeting is adjourned.